It's a very good evening and welcome to Henson Park, where Sydney Uni are taking on GWS. It is round 13 of the NEAFL. Hopefully you're having a good night. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined in commentary this evening by the superstar of the Touch AFL, leading goal kicker in his competition, Will Jackson. How are you this evening, Will?
Absolutely terrific. The season's over. I did win the Coleman medal. It was an absolutely extraordinary season, but we're here to talk about this game. Give me an absolute cracker. Sydney University have played so much football together. Giants a lot of chopping and changing. Got a pretty young list today, Eddie.
Quite a few changes for the Giants side. We'll get into that as play gets underway. Toss of the coin happened earlier. Sam Tagliabue winning the toss. He'll be kicking to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV. Beautiful night for football here in Sydney. Chris Brackenriggs got the footy in hand, and here is Will Jackson to get play underway, and that's a bounce that Chris will just bring back. The Giants, of course, coming off a bye last week, Will, and the Students, well, we don't speak of that result. That was a big loss, one of their worst.
Result that shall not be named. Tapped down by Tagliabue, and into battle they go. Stevenson let it go for Veal, and he'll pick it up, and away they go. Back to Stevenson. Let's see if they can bring it out of the middle here. Quick clearance made. Going to bounce off of Morrison, not too cleanly. Coming instead will look to lurk and go from here. So onto the ball go the Giants. Playing out the far side, there's into the top of the 50 there. Wonderful play. They're going to continue the run here. Bobby Hill, excitement machine, onto his right foot from just outside on the 50. It's going to go away to the right-hand side, though. Pretty exciting start so far.
Geez, fast movement, wasn't it? Straight into the hands of Bobby Hill.
Got to be careful when Bobby Hill gets onto the ball. He's a pretty quick stepper and a great kick, typically, so expect to see more of him tonight.
So the Students will wait to bring the footy in hand. Louis Stevenson ball in hand as you'd expected. Booming kick into the centre square. Big pack of players. Giants with numbers at the full of it. That was Aidan Bonner. Shipley there too. Came out the back to Morrison. Couldn't quite get his handball. Bartholomeus was tripped. Umpire let play go on. Shipley dives on top, and it will be a bounce. Centre half forward for the Giants, who I mentioned at the top, are missing a couple of key players with airlines duties today. James Peatling and Liam Delhunty, those two.
Chance for a few youngsters to come into the side, though, and a few youngsters doing battle in the middle there. Won't be coming out of that, but yeah, really exciting. A few guys, Lockie Squire and Harry Grant's coming in, and the younger of the Green is about 16 years old, Josh Green, as the taps one down by Tagliabue and play forward. Nice pick up from Crockmalls. They go wide. Stevenson on the ball now on the far side. He'll take a bounce and try and draw a defender. Stell just stepped to the side of him ever so delicately, you could say. Into the hands, Flipper Stern trying to get his hands onto it, but instead sees it out of bounds for the first throw in.
Good to see also in the AFL last night, Jackson Haitley and Zach Langdon for the Giants having a bit of a run around. Not the desired result for the Giants, but there'll be a couple of guys out there tonight looking to get back into the seniors team as Tagliabue wins this. Boundary side, picked up there by Harry Grant, just banged boot to ball, got it up the ground, and was it in play just? So really good mark taken there by Daniel Lloyd. He'll just have a look up the ground. Hails from the New South Wales Central Coast. Now just bangs it long to centre wing position here at Henson Park. Kieran Briggs flew high. Ball came to ground level. Students work a series of handballs up the wing, and eventually the footy trickles out of play, and it will be tossed in. Another one to watch, Will, tonight for the Giants is Tommy Sheridan, of course, coming across to the club from the Fremantle Dockers in the off-season through the free agency system. Played a senior game earlier this year for the Giants, but this is his first appearance at this level in the NEAFL.
He's got a bit of a finals experience over at the AFL level as well, including the 2014 grand final. He was an emergency, didn't quite make it on, but certainly knows his way around the paddock and should look to quite a bit of influence into this young Giants side today.
Been coming off a bit of a calf injury, so looking forward to see him a little bit later on as the Students just go inside 50. Good mark taken down there, and it's in the hands of Callum Brown.
So Callum Brown is usually so exciting when he gets the ball in hand and starts his run. He decides to elect, goes laterally this time, and see how they set up and structure here. No real menace so far in this game, and Students looking to bounce back on their home turf. That's been a little 1% there for the Students, and good defensive pressure. We talk about that week in, week out with the Students, but they're playing here Friday Night Lights, Eddie, at Henson Park, their home ground. Very exciting stuff for them, and looking to respond here. And who can respond in the ruck battle? Flynn taps that one down. Bonner chasing him. It's been Picked up by the Giants, but tapped down again. It's a real mess in the middle there, Reddy. Really hard for anyone to get a bit of clean run and go and some easy disposals.
So Bailey Stewart's got footy in hand, goes long to the hot spot. Big pack of players. Ball came to ground level. Isaac Cumming got the kick away. Goes long underneath it. Bailey Stewart was waiting. Bartholomeus went back via hand inside 50. Marked that one down to Lockie Kilpatrick. No one could quite take the mark. Big Dawes Simpson was involved. Bonner, a bit of a drop kick after he was tackled by Davies. The students recover. Ball kick to centre half forward. Chance going forward. Here's Goulden. He'll run to 50. Kick it straight into their running player for the Giants. Josh Green thereabouts. 16-year-old there. Stern picked it up for Sydney Uni. The Giants should work it up the wing, but they don't. Goulden's body pressure was outstanding. Good tackle there laid by Aidan Bonner, and we'll have a bounce. Half forward flank for the students. Pretty good forward defensive pressure from Sydney Uni.
Well, I was going to say, perhaps the lights are causing a bit of a trick of the eye. They seem to think they've got more time than they do. Great pressure, though, as the students look to respond here. And lovely clearance made by Sirakowski inside 50. Not quite taken, ball at ground level. The big pack of players surrounds. That'll be another ball up. A good chance here for Sydney Uni to respond, hit the scoreboard after they've absorbed a bit of a running menace from the Giants. Can they get a bit of marking and goal-kicking menace about their game tonight?
So tossed up, Big Dawes Simpson won that one. Tagliabue, the skipper, came charging through. He's like a bull out of the gates. Unfortunately for him, though, the gates didn't open. It will be tossed up. Just the one change for the students this evening as the ball's tossed up. Ground level, Aidan Bonner bent over. Dawes Simpson there too. Eventually came out to Shipley. Flicked a handball into space. Real smart Bobby Hill. How good was that from Ian as the footy came through? Taking one bounce. Daniel Lloyd got in a bit of trouble, so Bobby just kept running and he caught the footy to half forward. It'll go out the back, but really good defensive mark taken there by Michael Carroll. Michael
Carroll, always such a great contested mark, and he proved it there. Out to Nick Foster, who's back in the side after a week in concussion. The long sleeves will make him stand out. Goulden puts forward an inside 50. Under it is Davies, but he's not going to get there. Instead, it'll fly and picked up again. Brown goes outside before it's kicked outside the 50. Couple of Giants men there, couldn't be taken. It's going to go over towards the physio table. No one lying on that, thankfully.
Jack Hiscock's the man out of the side that lost to the Brisbane Lions last week out at the BISP at Blacktown International Sports Park. 128-point loss for the students. Really hurt their percentage as well. Lost about 15% from one week to the next as the ball's tossed in centre wing. Valor playing his second game in the NEAFL. Got a handball there for Sydney Uni, but it's all Giants at the back as they get the footy to half forward, and really smart use of the body. Carroll again, couldn't quite mark. Here's Briggsy, Kieran Briggs, handball over the top was good. He'll want the 1-2. Shipley went without it. Going back Bartholomeus, really good for the students, and they'll clear up the wing. Pack of players coming from the side was Nick Foster. Couldn't mark, did enough to spoil. It's wrapped up in the tackle there, Tommy Sheridan, his first possession of the afternoon. Or the evening, rather.
Good defensive pressure there from Nick Foster. We know he started his career as a backman, one of the key defenders, and now they've swung him forward for a bit of attacking pressure. So he's getting involved a bit further up the field than he'd usually find himself. Interesting to watch the ruck battle too. The Giants' two ruckmen so big and dangerous around the paddock. Instead, it's bounced over the top of them and the clearance will be made. No, it'll be brought back. So I think he'll be thankful for that because it's sawed out of bounds on the full.
So free kick going the way of the Giants. They're a bit of a hold on Aidan Bonner in the rucking contest and just around that stoppage.
Sometimes it's the only way to stop Aidan Bonner. He typically covers every blade of grass out here.
So he has a little bit of a look around, looks forward, wants a lead, eventually just goes long to the pocket. Pack of players, it's a 6-on-6 really. Kieran Briggs couldn't quite mark. He'd arguably like it a little bit higher so he can run and jump at it. He's taken a couple of big hangers as we saw in the highlights package, just posted on the NEAFL socials during the week. And it will be tossed in. Giants in attack if you've just joined us on NEAFL TV, Bar TV, our broadcast partners. Leon behind the camera doing a really good job once again. Ruckman do battle. Briggsy won that one for the Giants. Good use of the body. Ball at ground level. Chippy kick. Valor there for the students. Got a long kick to half back. The big man will fly. Bounced off the chest. Iden flicked it over the top. Valor there. Shipley too. Couldn't quite get a clean handball out. Harry Morrison doing some handiwork in defence. Giants youngsters doing well. Green involved. But the students, they just keep persisting, and somehow they get it to the wing where it's taken by Tristan Davies.
So Davies goes long into the corridor. Big fly behind him. Gee, that's going to hurt, but he'll get up, and that's okay. A little chance for an assault here if someone can take it cleanly. Instead, there'll be a umpire's ball up. They weren't too happy with the contest in that one. A bit of push and shove there from Connor Iden. Didn't think so either. So Ed Cole, ball in hand. What can he make of it? He's trying to lure his teammates forward. Gee, that looks okay, but it's going to be picked off. Yeah, okay if you're Isaac Cumming, letting his experience show.
Leading possession getter on the ground early stages. Already had 5 disposals. The boy from Broken Hill.
Such a terrific athlete, and he's such a great decision maker as he puts it downfield and try and fish this one out of danger. Simpson did well before a snap forward. Bobby Hill just drops an absolute city. You're better than that, Bobby, and we all know it. But it's still live here down the boundary side. Students trying to recover from a bit of initial danger coming from the Giants. And, geez, what looks like a big football fumble has led to a free kick to the Giants. Holding the football, Ed.
Kieran Briggs, the big fella, just laying the last tackle as Bobby Hill gives a little bit in return. And a bit of push and shove going down the boundary line there. Bobby just should watch himself. It's Tristan Davies for the students there too, but play goes on. Briggs to the hot spot. Beautiful kick. Ball bouncing out the back. Who wants it? Tommy Sheridan involved, but rushed through. Second behind of the game, and the Giants do lead by that margin, just the 2 behinds.
Big Luke Robertson. Robertson was the one getting involved in that one there, the boy from Tassie. Instead, they've gone straight down the centre. Nearly lost control of it, but he's managed to make amends for it. So, turning and looking for an option. Lockie Kilpatrick goes straight forward. Bit of pressure coming from behind. Chance to go quickly and decides to take it straight down the corridor, but not really to anyone. It's a one-on-one. Davies had his work cut out for him. Goes over Morrison's head, and here he is, Aiden Bonner. So much danger before a little chip is put forward. Flack underneath that. Can't take it. Flack will have another go at this if he can be quick, but, geez, you have to be bloody quick to get that one out because that'll be another ball up.
Conditions out there, Will. AFL 9's leading goal kicker this year. What did you make of the conditions walking across the ground earlier this evening?
A little bit dewy, we were talking underfoot, mate. A little bit spongy, so it might be hard to hold on to this football. Not as clean as either side likes to play, but look, if you know your way up forward, I'm sure you'll be able to take a few marks and kick a few goals. A few cold nights on the AFL 9's field.
So the ball thrown up at half forward for the students. If you've just joined us, Aiden Bonner's got it for GWS. They work the footy forward. Good string of handballs. Cam Edwards just got rid of it. Did well enough. Tackling pressure from Michael Carroll. Good. Bobby Hill throwing off the ball, and he'll get a free kick. Will Bobby?
Who's thrown Bobby this time? Before it was Luke Robertson of the students going toe-to-toe with him.
I think it was Michael Carroll on that occasion.
On the big contested machine. He looks like a good little wrestler, though, the way he spun it all to ground there.
So Bobby Hill, he's coming off the back of a bit of shoulder surgery in the off-season. He's put together a really good year this year for the Giants in his first year. 10 goals, 13. An excitement machine up forward. So he goes back to Isaac Cumming, leading possession getter, just waltzes around the man on the mark, then bangs it long inside 50. Kieran Briggs the target from behind. There's a push advantage. No, I think the free kick will go the way of Sydney Uni, and the footy will be taken there by Ned Reinhard.
Looked like it could have been a push in the back, but how about the athleticism from Isaac Cumming? I mean, he's heads and shoulders above the rest. He's fast, he's quick, and he's nimble, and he's also very tall and skilled. So really hard guy to play against, and they're going to feel his presence out there today if he keeps dancing around them like that. Dancing with the stars out there with Isaac Cumming. Not as clean as Bartholomeus would have liked and typically is. Goulden's such a great user onto his left. Little 1-1 contest here. It's going to be hard to pick up. And picking up difficultly it is. Cam Williams just sees it out of bounds. Doesn't want to do too much with that one.
Bit of a crowd in here at Henson Park tonight. Few around on this broadcast side particularly. Perfect night for football in Sydney. Hopefully you're enjoying wherever you're watching. Let us know where you are having a look at the footy from tonight in the comments section on NEAFL TV. Also let us know who you think it's going to win, because it's a real arm wrestle at the moment and real important game for both sides if they want to play finals this year in the NEAFL. As the skipper for the Giants, Flynn, came charging through and kicking in danger, ruled by the umpire just off the ball. And the free kick is going to go the way of Austin Lucy there, back in the team after missing a couple of weeks ago, and he just works it really well. Bit of volleyball work. Really good tackle there, Aiden Bonner on Sirakowski. Ball at ground level, and it should be tossed up on the wing. as the crowd starts to get involved a little bit.
Ripping tackle from Bo there. Grabbed him by the upper, just did not let go. Stopped what could have been a pretty quick rebound. It's gone up again, and so Tagliabue one out there, but do you call the win if you can't get the ball away cleanly? I think so. If you're a ruckman, put your body on the line. Should be pretty important there. If they're not going to get any real clean ball because of the slip, this ruck battle is going to be critical. As Tagliabue wins that one out before a couple of tackles are made. In the mixer there was Shipley, and Bartholomeus trying to make himself felt on the ground. Make your presence felt as much as you can, but you'll never get the ball out from there, despite all the stomping you do.
Not a chance.
Not a chance. We wait for this one to go up. Tags again gets that one from behind, perhaps a different strategy, but the Giants going to recover from this using the strong body. Tapped over and forward to the ex-Fremantle man. Rolling out bounds it goes with Louis Stevenson and Lockie Squire in tow.
So ball to be tossed in, a real arm wrestle early doors of this round 13 NEAFL clash. Sydney Uni 6th, GWS 4th.
Past few weeks we've seen the students concede quite a few goals early on, so it's good to see they've locked themselves down a bit and just trying to absorb perhaps some of the pressure before they decide to go on the assault. Could make for an interesting few final quarters.
I'm sure the message would have been, let's just take it quarter by quarter, because I don't think every time we've seen Sydney Uni this year, they haven't quite put a full quarter performance together on the park. Been really good in patches and can really match it with the best. We saw them against Southport, I think it was earlier this year, who are the real benchmark, and even against the Lions last week. They had a couple of good patches, but just couldn't quite put the full quarter effort in, and that third quarter where we saw 11 goals to none just really broke them away. That's a really good tackle there for the students, and it will be tossed in.
Ed Cole again. He's put a few big tackles in today, so good to see if there's a role to be played. Being the enforcer can be one that gets you recognised by the coaches. As the long high one goes out, will it get lost in the lights? Not quite. Certainly not for Sam Tagliabue as he pumps it forward. Davies underneath that one. Can't be picked up cleanly. Shipley coming in here, and as you'd expect, slippery ball, and rather than taking the Giants sandwich, Harry Morrison just sees it out of bounds once again. Plenty of play around the fringes here. No one really using the corridors.
There's 7 inside 50s to 5 the way of the Giants. So Sydney Uni, they've had a couple of chances, but just not deep inside 50s, just around the fringes, as you mentioned there, Will, as it's tossed in again. Valor doing a bit of good work, but it came out the way of the Giants in Jack Buckley. Long to half forward. Bobby Hill is pushed under the ball. Umpire says play on. As Sirakowski's there of the Andrew variety on this occasion. Students under immense pressure at half forward as Reinhardt's driven into... Luke Robertson was driven into the turf, and it will be a ball up. Half forward for GWS. Two captains of these two sides do battle in the ruck tonight. It was Tagliabue who won that one down, but Shipley was there waiting. Rushing his kick forward was Harry Grant, just to get another inside 50 for GWS. Can they convert on this occasion? Really good tackling pressure once again. And it will be tossed up.
Really want to see the Sydney Uni forwards have a chance at some clean ball. Typically such good leaders onto the football, but let's see how the Giants forwards go. They had a chance. Trying to clear it there was Bailey Stewart. Not quite going to work for him. And over there in the headgear, Vella sees it out. He's been pretty active, Vella. He's got the headgear. It makes him stand out. Along with Nick Foster's long sleeves. You know his beloved mother Annie's watching from home, watches every game. Perhaps Nick will be a bit easy to recognise out there in the longies.
And the yellow slippers too. Celebrates a birthday tomorrow, of course, Foz. It's tossed in. Really good work from Dawes Simpson. Kick was smothered off the boot. Here's that man Valor. Second NEAFL game for him. Banged it on the right boot to half forward, but it will cut straight off. And Flynn was waiting. Looks inboard. Elects to go short our side. Connor Iden was waiting from Drysdale in Victoria. Has a look around. Goes backwards by foot again. Waiting for it was Jack Buckley. So happy to just slow things down at the moment, the Giants, and drive something from half back. Here's Kane Flack.
Oh.
And beautiful spear and kick, wasn't it, Will? And it's taken there by Wilson Mudge. So Wilson Mudge has a look forward. Called to go now. Played 3 NAB League games for the Giants earlier this year, and really good use of the body. And the students will have a chance to clear it from half back through Lockie Kilpatrick.
Interesting. That one there with Bobby Hill tried to make his body felt, but he just got taken out in front. So here's a chance for Davies. Won't quite get there, but if he can go quick, he fumbles with the man in front of him on the ground. forgets about the ball. That'll be brought up. Bit of a shame there. Real good chance if he'd... Look, we understand the ball gets lost when you go to the contest.
Really good work there from Steen. Of course, made his AFL debut last week, the 2014 Commonwealth Games decathlete. Back in the twos this week, so obviously looking to win his spot back in the senior side, which you might suggest after last night's performance could be on the cards as the students inside 50. Again, Davies flying, couldn't quite mark. Iden, really good use of the body, flicked it over by hand, had a couple of players there. Green snapped a kick. Will Sierakowski, Bobby Hill flew, couldn't quite mark, but he did well at ground level, did Bobby. Shipley's wrapped up in a tackle and it will be tossed in.
Will be good to see Bobby Hill fly up for a few more marks. If we remember a few weeks back against Gold Coast, he took that absolute screamer, disallowed because of his compatriot Toby Green ruled him out. Used to be a stud. It's a bit of a shame. It was an absolute scorcher. Sam Tagliabue drills his opposite man to the turf and the umpire doesn't like it. So Matty Flynn here, he's just been chipping it about. Not really going for clearances, Flynn. He's just going for the little delicate kicks that probably wouldn't really expect from a ruckman, but, you know, get him involved anyway. Isaac Cumming ball in hand. Probably a bit more of a normal user of the football, and that's wonderful. Pushing the back, a few shouts are coming, but they're not going to worry too much. They'll wait for this one to pull forward a little bit further. Really playing really shallow here. The students' defence are up really high along with the Giants forwards, and wow, why wouldn't you be when you're getting leads like that? Into the ball, Josh Green went over the top. Mudge trying to have a look up and go. Placing it forward. They've got a good little run and carry here. Will they continue to use? Tough pocket, as we know, especially at this distance.
It's Tommy Sheridan. What can he do from here? Haven't seen a goal and we're in the time-on period of the first quarter. To the hot spot. Big use of the body. Flynn couldn't mark. Ground level. Kicked off the grounds of beauty and the Giants finally have the first of the day. I think that was off the boot of Cam Edwards. And they've finally got one. It took 21 minutes for the first goal today, Will Jackson, but we finally got one through a bit of persistence from the Giants.
Sure, it'll be the start of many. It's just your classic early nerves where people wait for the other one to make the first move. And an awkward first date, if you will. But now that someone's finally put their hand out for a bit of handy hold, I think we'll start to see a bit more action out there on the field.
Cam Edwards, Academy product. Walkham Hills, turned 18 earlier this year. Just enjoying his time in the Giants forward line.
One of the many young players out there today for the Giants.
It's just his second game. Kicked 2 goals earlier this year and one. And he's got the first of the evening tonight. 1-2 plays donuts.
To break the drought, and good on him. So let's see how he goes on the bounce here. The first one to start the match wasn't prolific. Not a very effective one as Simpson pumps it forward, and under so much pressure here's Goulden. He's taken down. Pretty strong tackle there, but didn't think play forward. And young kid in front of me just kicked one straight into the bin. It was pretty impressive in the back of play.
So tossed up, Giants in attack. Good tackling pressure again, and the umpire will call from it. It's Aaron Langdon there. Sorry, it's Chris Brackenrig. Other umpires this evening, Joey O'Brien and Matt Bagent. As it's called for once more. Real arm wrestle early in this game. I know there hasn't been many goals kicked, but it has really been end to end. The students just not quite penetrating deep inside their 50 where they can just let loose a couple of big forwards in Davies, Morrison and Stern.
They're getting really congested and they're playing around the boundaries. So, you know, you try and get a flick ball with a slippy one out. It just rolls over our control. This one trying to keep it in control. But I mean, just a great tackle made from Shipley there to further constrain this match. Leave the foot on the throat and not let them up. So we're just going to wait for the game to break open. Who's going to be the man of the moment to do so? A clearance is made by Bartholomaeus. It's going to go towards the boundary once again.
Oh, and they've paid deliberate, so it'll come back with a little bit of interest. Ed Perryman picking up the free kick.
Bit savage given it was almost off a volley. But
so Perryman back to the hot spot. Louis Stevenson used his body well, charging through Flynn. Couldn't mark, came out the back. Andrew Sierakowski, Bartholomaeus, Austin Lucy, underground torpedo. It was ugly and it's not going to work. Green there for the Giants. Flynn came charging through, rushed to handball. Plenty of students involved. And eventually the footy should be locked in there, and I think it will be now, and the umpire calls for it and we'll toss it up. you just like to see a bit of that run. Jack Hiscock's not playing tonight, who can really run and dash and break the line. So you're going to have to see it from other players tonight for Sydney Uni. Bailey Stewart, Bartholomeus, and there's a free kick, Will.
Hey, Flynn, I think he's been thrown to the turf once again.
So he'll have a shot from right under the uprights if the Newtown Jets were playing here. And it should go back and kick the second of the evening.
It's happened twice. It's in the hands of Dawson Simpson. It's happened twice to them now. Just ill discipline around the ruck contest. So as he waltzes in and puts that through, no problem. Matty Flynn kicking the second goal for the game, the Giants' second. Now 2 goals, 2 behinds. Not a fast start, but certainly a good start in the context of this game to be keeping your opposition scoreless and adding a couple to yourselves. But you feel like they haven't fully earned it. It's just been a bit of a grind and wait for that final moment. It's
just having a look at the stats sheet and just having a look at our leading possession getters. Isaac Cumming, Jack Buckley, across half-back, 8 possessions and 6 each, just racking up cross half-back, moving it really slowly. For the students, Lockie Kilpatrick, he's had 7, Bartholomeus 5. Once again at half-back, and that's just where the ball's been at the moment for both sides, between the 2 half-back lines, and the Giants, well, they've just managed to weasel a couple of goals.
Without that clean run and carry, which the students are so adept at, I guess they're struggling to find a solid entry into their forwards, give them a chance to really get some scoreboard pressure on. Cam Williams trying to do a bit of relief there. Vella with his head over the ball, ripping it out and doing so well. Sirakowski, Will, puts it forward. I mean, it's a pretty unfair contest going back with the flight. Giants should recover here, but we're going to see another defensive scramble. It's going to be brought up. Again, the context of this entire quarter played up to the umpire.
So we've been playing 22 minutes, first quarter. This is a real chance for the students. They want to hit the scoreboard. As it came out the back, rushed kick. Chance for young Giant there, and Wilson Mudge to the wing. Students with numbers, and there'll be a free kick, but it's going to go the way of GWS over the shoulders.
Ned Reinhardt under that, not too happy. Giving the umpire something to think about.
So Kieran Briggs just happy to move it slowly to half forward. And that's a real gutsy mark back with the flight. Really good work there from Ed Cole. So he'll go through the corridor. Risky kick, but it will work. This is the run that you're talking about, Will. They just need to create something. Monty Crockmall inside 50. Couldn't mark underground kick. Here's Nick Foster. Could have copped one high. Umpire says, no, give it to me. Let's toss it up 30 out from the students' goal.
And that was their chance to strike there. It was just a all due respect, a poor kick inside 50. He was in acres of space and it just tumbled short where he could have had a great shot at goal. So instead we're in the one-on-one here. Kilpatrick gets shoved aside and there's a bit of a run and charge here. Wilson Mudge plays it forward and bangs it. Here's a little opportunity here. Can he gather and go? Josh Green, no, it's just going to sail over the boundary line once again. It's still an exceptional attacking opportunity here for the Giants.
Really enjoy having a look at Josh Green's first quarter. Quite impressive as well. 16 years old, youngest player out there this evening. Turns 17 next month, 24th of July.
He's getting some solid experience out there amongst the bigger bodies in the NEAFL.
A couple of men that he's up against this evening. As it will be tossed up again, Giants in attack. I feel like a bit of deja vu here. There's a bit of a smoke drifts across the ground from the barbecue alongside, not fog. It's a beautiful evening here in Sydney. Chipped forward, chance again for the Giants. Really good tackle again, Paul. Is the spill free? No, but it's holding the footy. Great tackling pressure there from Andrew Sirakowski for the students. They'll go short. Bartholomeus racking them up across half-back. Has a look forward, sees big Kieran Briggs in the way, so he'll go short via hand. Long booming kick this time, Ed Cole. Good use of the body, Davies, but better fly from behind. And the mark is well taken there by Jake Steen.
So many times we've seen Bartholomeus come away with the ball, and he's so deep inside his own 50. We're used to him running through the middle, right in the centre there. Great picking off mark from Robertson. So Robertson just looking for options. There's not a whole lot going on for him. The Giants have marked up well. There's a few leads, but he's going to elect to go laterally, and inside his own 50 once again is Bartholomeus. So what can he use? Ed Cole was not his option. Tries to go in. Crockmall it was. So playing off Reinhardt. Bit of pressure coming, but plenty of time. So they're kicking off the back here is going strong, but they're not getting any territory. We've seen them turn it over from this position a few times last week, but Kilpatrick wants to make sure that doesn't happen again. Just smashes it forward onto his left.
Oh.
Early fly. Umpire doesn't mind it, though. All fair in the contest, but the boundary will take it once again. Umpire due for another disposal. Been pretty active there. They're going to have sore shoulders. Get out the ice baths for him.
So 29 minutes gone, first quarter. 14-point ball game if you've just joined us. Real arm wrestle. Students with a couple of opportunities haven't managed to convert. Bonner, good use of the body. Charging through. Chance for the students inside 50. Williams should fly. Got a fist to it in front of Steen. Buntine there for the Giants. Just kept it in front of him. Williams did well. Foster there, but picking up was Shipley. Shipley long to half forward. Good use of the body. Better fist came from behind from Ned Reinhardt, and it will be tossed in centre wing here. There's a bit of a crowd in the house this evening.
It's excellent. You got the Giants here. They've set up all the extra activities for the kids. It's all about the kids getting them in early and continuing their push out west and into these inner western suburbs.
Trendy inner west in Marrickville this evening. Got the airport nearby, so you may hear the odd 747 go overhead as Vella was tackled. Got a handball back, Bartholomaeus. Students to half forward. Big fly will come from behind. Good use of the body, Iden. Vella there again. Williams too. Students with numbers. And Isaac coming pretty happy to see the footy out of bounds. One-on-ones are all across the ground at the moment.
So hard for either side to find space at the moment. And these rucks, this titanic ruck battle, these two very big experienced ruckman. Tapped down one there by Simpson before it was lost by the midfields. Big attacking play. Vella here with a, well, you wouldn't call it a clearance. It was nearly marked, but just spilled ever so slippery, isn't it? So Giants with Shipley gives it out by hand before a long kick is made in towards the pack. Jumping forward was Reinhardt again, wanting to clean up some mess. Clearing ball. Couldn't find the target early on. Under that, a few of the youngsters involved. Callum Brown wanted to get himself felt. Bobby Hill makes a long spiralling torpedo clearance, and he's got a fair bit of work to do here, Michael Carroll. Thankfully he got a lucky bounce, or did he? The lucky bounce goes towards the way of the boundary. Could have been dangerous there. It bounced funny. If it was just tapped forward ever so slightly, they would have had a clear run home into the goal square, but
smart from Bobby Hill again across half-back, Will. I know we both love him, but just booming it to clear the zone. Saw space inside 50 for Kieran Briggs.
Smart play. Just want to see him get jumping, kicking and running.
Tossed in half-forward for GWS. They've got the numbers here, but the tackling pressure good from the students. Shipley involved. Handball came out wide, held without it. Umpire called play on. Snapping around the body was Kilpatrick. Dorse Simpson involved. Spills free. Ed Cole, kick partially smothered. Giants with numbers on centre wing. Can they do something with it here? Bonner, Cumming was held without it, but the umpire said he had possession and threw it away illegally. So the students will move quickly. Not long to go in this first quarter. They'll go inside 50. Long kick. Who wants it? Who's underneath it? Students with numbers. Handball into space. Stern a chance here. Stern runs on, dribbles it towards goal, and the students have their first. Really good, smart, quick play from Sydney Uni. Josh Stern was the last man standing, as it turned out. Dribbled it through. They've got their first. Took 33 minutes of this first quarter. But it is back down to an 8-point margin.
Thankfully, in the context of this game, getting one goal for the quarter is not too big of an issue. They're only down by a goal and a couple of behinds now, but they're so good when they get going quickly, the students. And just then, he didn't even bother to look. There was just a big handball over the top immediately, and thankfully, Stern was able to run onto it and finish pretty coolly on the dribble.
Sounds stupid. Even without that goal, you still feel like they're in the match, even though they haven't scored for the day. Even more so now. The bit of momentum and a bit of quick run can really break this Giants defence, and Stern proved if you're long and you keep your feet, you can dribble a goal.
As we see this one go down, but that'll be the siren to end the first quarter. Bit of a quiet quarter in terms of goals scored, but a very busy quarter if you're a tackling midfielder, Ed. We're going to really gear ourselves up for the second and hope there's a bit more run and go as we break for this first.
Welcome back here to Henson Park, wherever you're watching right around Australia on NEAFL TV. It's round 13, quarter time. It is the GWS Giants leading Sydney Uni 2-2-14 to 1 straight 6. Really enjoyable arm wrestle kind of quarter of footy. Perfect night here in Sydney. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined by Will Jackson in commentary. Will, as players make their way back to positions, what did you make of that first quarter?
Well, there's not too much to make for it so far. I mean, as you said, arm wrestle is the only way to describe it. It's really tight and contested, and the ball's slippery. It's Friday night here. There's a bit of dew building. Really hard to grab it off the ground and send it out cleanly, and I think both sides are just sizing each other up and seeing what the other one will do. So interesting to see how this second quarter unfolds.
So the students got the last one of that first quarter. There's a big crowd in tonight, plenty of kids around too. Hopefully you're enjoying it, watching it on NEAFL TV, wherever you're having a look from. Thanks to our broadcast partners, Bar TV. See Andrew Underwood watching from Penrith, Giants fan. Julian Gadd from Adelaide. Giants should take this on the YouTube. Let us know where you're watching us from and who do you think's going to win. Bit of an arm wrestle here as the Sydney to Brisbane flight goes overhead. Second quarter about to get underway. Giants to the right-hand side of your NEAFL TV. I'm Eddie Summerfield. Here's Will Jackson.
So the ball's bounced up and tapped down easily into the hands. No, it's going to be brought back pretty quickly. Will being one of the simpler clearances of Sam Tagliabue's career. Bailey Stewart was pretty happy.
He was pretty happy with it.
Starts strolling onto that, but no, it'll be brought back. Staying the way the first quarter went with a bit of a dodgy bounce. They've been good, the umpires tonight, otherwise. Tapped down, played forward. Lovely work there into the hands of Stewart again. Bit of deja vu. Oh, big fly there. Could have been dangerous. He should recover, but the Giants on the assault here. So it's going to be played in nicely. Perham into a one-on-one. Will it be taken? It will, but by Ned Reinhard. Not what the Giants would have wanted. And then taken out of bounds there by Austin Lucy. Keeping things cool and simple. Saw a little bit more run there. Perhaps a little bit more attacking intent. Interesting to see how they break through the middle. Playing around these flanks is so difficult. Small quarters, slippery ball. Hard to get something going, but what can they come up with? Down it goes again. That would have been an attacking shot. For a moment, I thought it might have been a clearance, but you size up the direction of the ball. It'll be a free kick into the hands of the students. Should be Austin Lucy taking the kicking duties.
Just running out of room there, Josh Green.
Good throw from the youngster who threw it back to him.
Mark taken by Louis Stevenson. He's one that didn't have a lot of it in the first quarter, and we know how damaging he can be. Crosses it, cross half back, risky kick, and there'll be a free kick because that was quite ill-disciplined from Cam Edwards. Kicked a goal in that first quarter for the Giants. So the students at half back. They'll just slow things down. Reinhard in possession. Start to go a little bit faster. Kilpatrick, one of the leading possessions on the ground. Risky kick, but Michael Carroll couldn't quite mark on this occasion. Got the handball out wide. The students try to urge it forward, but it's cut off by the former Docker, Tommy Sheridan, in his NEAFL debut inside 50. Mark couldn't quite be taken down there. Students with numbers. Reinhard around it. Snap around the body from Green, partially smothered. Should trickle out of play, and it eventually does.
Liking the look of him out there so far, Tommy Sheridan. Again, no one's had much of a chance to stand out, but you can see he's getting himself into the right areas. Just needs to wait for the right ball. And speaking of the ball, in it comes. Tap down there. You'd say that the Giants got the better half of that. Bonner trying to get involved, but it was just stripped from him in the one-on-one. Morrison not taking the mark, but looking to get the handball off. Does. Stewart wrestling, trying to thrash his way out of trouble there. Trying to make the clearance there with Sierakowski before Bonner gets his hands on the gain. Troshed off the ball. So much going on here. Nick Foster underneath it. The long sleeve shirt just gets knocked into the ground. Bit of dust coming up from it. Dust and dirt and dew. The triple D's alliteration. Bit
of rain in Sydney during the week, Will, so the ground perhaps still just recovering from the downpour as it came backwards to go forwards for GWS to the hot spot. Reinhard was good. He crumbed it nicely, just banged it out at a fence into space. Held the footy, bounced towards the boundary line, skidding in fact. Brown was there, bit fumbly. Got it to Buntine and he's flicked into the fence, and umpire says we'll throw it in. A couple of Giants missing today. Of course, they're playing Allies duties. Now, Tom Green, for GWS Academy product, was compared to Paddy Crisplike in the Under-18 Championships. Had 33 touches, 9 clearances, 5 marks, as the Allies defeated Vic Metro by 2 points down in Geelong. But back here in Sydney at Henson Park, Giants did very well on that wing. Inside 50, Bobby Hill, creative as ever. Austin Lucy couldn't quite find the handle on it. Ball was flicked forward. Kieran Briggs did well at ground level, but then when he stood up, got taken out of bounds.
It was a big testimony to the difficulty of the conditions early when Callum Brown was just in acres of space. Bent over to pick it up and just slipped from his grip, and he's not an uncoordinated fella, so that it's just tough out there at the moment. And seeing who adapts and survives will be the key. As that's knocked forward, Tagliabue, you would have thought a little runner would have come the way of the students. Under a bit of pressure here, but the pressure is sustained.
The other one missing for the Giants, who's been a bit of a regular, James Heatling. He was playing for the Airlines today and had a pretty good afternoon out as well. As it's tossed up, the Giants in attack.
Two very good players. Tom Green got himself a Rising Star nomination a few weeks earlier, if I'm not mistaken. And we know how dangerous Peatling is with his tank and his skills. Snap came and another 1%er was played off. Knocked along the ground into another classical one-on-one. Can't be taken again. Fumbles out of his hands and out of bounds once again. Really, really difficult out there. But yeah, few excellent players missing tonight. Students building so much consistency. People were saying, who do you think is going to win? It's hard to say. You know, a team that plays together week in, week out, or a team with the elite athletes that can go up and down from the Giants but don't get as much game time together. So it's always hard to decide.
Especially mixed in with quite a few teenagers, as they are during this time of the year, with national championships happening at under 18 level. All four of the AFL affiliated clubs in the NEAFL.
Always good to see what they're made of, though, when the youngsters come in. And do they rise to the challenge or go back for another few seasons of development?
So the Giants, they'll go inside 50 this time. Bit of excitement. Shot on goal from Shipley.
This is everything.
And it was... He knew he missed it the second he struck it. So the students been playing 6 minutes in this second quarter, and much like the first, there's been no score. It took 20 minutes in that first quarter as Connor Iden made a good connection with it. Mick Foster over the top of it, inside 50. The Giants go once again. Reinhard was involved. Handball came back for the students. Ball bobbling around. Handball came the way of Bonner, wrapped up in a tackle, driven into the turf here at Henson Park. Plenty of feeling out there as a bit of push and shove develops. Austin Lucy and Brown involved. And Bonner goes toe-to-toe with Austin Lucy. Ball tossed up. Flynn was there. Got a handball out just. Shipley, good. Tagliabue. Reinhardt, Shipley. Dawes Simpson. Got it to Tommy Sheridan. Underground kick inside 50. Bouncing ball. Really elite pick up there, Green. Came back by a hand. Short little chip at a Bobby Hill, who reels it in on his right arm. And that was a beautiful kick up from Ed Perryman to find Bobby.
Summed up the situation so nicely there. Nice little dinker snapping chipper onto the left foot from Perriman. Did really, really well. Big tackle there outside 50 was from Luke Robertson, who's been pretty active on the sledging and the aggravating today.
So Bobby Hill loves a goal. Begins his approach. Kicked 10 goals, 13 this season in the NEAFL. In 8 outings, originates from WA on the right boot. Beautiful strike. Goal umpire doesn't have to move too much, and Bobby's got his first. Pounds his chest and says, boys, get around me. That's the third goal of this game, and there hasn't been much to date. And the Giants open up a pretty tidy 14-point lead.
Good to have Bobby Hill up there, front and centre of the stage. He loves being the main man, the big show. And there he goes again to open up this quarter. So, good start for the Giants. Slow one for the students. Really, really frantic stuff out there inside 50. A lot of kicks off the ground and balls bouncing overhead. Just a really hard one to call and sum up. A nightmare if you're a university defender. Suppose they need to put in a few more chaos balls themselves down the end.
And just move the ball a bit more quicker out of the middle.
Hard to move it quickly when you can't hold on to it, though. And that's not a sledge against the students. Both sides are having troubles with that. This one's knocked into the turf. The umps having a few problems on the bounce, but they'll let that one go. Tried to pick it out off the volley, but instead it's been picked over and no one can grab it. Putting there's some space here. Chance of Vella here.
Here we go.
Inside ball. Goulden, bit of a run. He likes a run. It's probably going to go a little bit too far there, and it'll just be not quite marked. A little dribbler kick's not quite going to go the way of the target, but still plenty of time. professionally done towards the boundary.
Oh, how good was that?
So well. Iden got from Brown and played it back out. Awkward looking kick. Matt Flynn can't quite get low enough. It was a long way down for him to bend. Instead, it's going to be pop up. Not taken there. Robertson trying to get involved and be difficult for the opposition. Standing over it was Kilpatrick. Instead, it'll be taken up. There was a nice little opportunity there. There's that chaos ball we were talking about. Cam Williams into the relief.
So students pushing forward. Valla rushed his kick. He'll get a second crack at it, but not if Aidan Bonner has anything to say about it. Apologies there. It could have been Brown over the top of it as Williams got her handball out. Valla, his second, third, fourth efforts were good. Sirakowski came charging through. Driven into the turf was the students' player, and it will be tossed up half forward flank for Sydney Uni, trailing by 14 points. You feel like the Giants have really dominated most of this game, but just haven't managed to put it on the scoreboard. As Shipley's last man on the pack, and it will be tossed up.
There's been some really strong tackles. We know they're playing on the ground of the Newtown Jets rugby club, and I think they're trying to tackle like rugby players today. It's been very aggressive. Clearance is made and bouncing overhead. Couldn't quite pick that one up silkily there, Crockmall. His brother Stephen Crockmall was on the list as an emergency, but didn't quite get the call up. Only a bit of time until we see those two brothers take the field here at NEAFL level. So seeking here, chance for the students to hit back after going a little bit quiet early on. But that's been taken ever so cleanly by Flynn there in the middle. Clearance made under that there. Goulden doesn't have much space to run here. He's going to have to be adept in his decision making. Looking for the lead and just hasn't given himself enough time to hit a leading target. Tries to dance his way around. Instead goes from 50 onto his left. It won't carry. Picked up right at the death there by the Giants.
He was about 2 steps away from that having the carry as the kick was a little bit rushed. Callum Brown, the Irishman, doing a bit of handballing and then tackling work because the handball didn't hit a target. Students really good around that. Steen flicked a handball forward, I think it was, and students' players call for deliberate, but sadly not the case for Sydney Uni, and it will be tossed in.
It's a cracking night out here at Henson. There's so many kids and families come here to play. There's large groups of them kicking the footy, Piggy in the middle, all their favourite games, and so good to see the growth of the sport continue and staying at the NEAFL level.
As it's tossed in again on the flank for the students. A bit of rush and tumble stuff, and it's going to be tossed in again. Tossed up again, rather. Happens eventually. Gives Simpson a hand to it. Tommy Sheridan involved, and it will be tossed in once again.
Difficult. Getting to sound like broken records with the amount of ball going over for the throw. It's again the boundary umpire's arms may begin to tire, but that one's got plenty of height on it, making it hard. Plenty of time for the wrestling with the two ruckmen. It's been a good little duel so far. Interesting to see the stats when we get a break here. Look at the hit-outs. Who's chalking out that one? Boundary takes this one again.
Somewhat unsurprisingly, Simpson is absolutely dominating. He's had 21. The Giants have had 42. Sydney Uni have had 11 hit-outs. So the Giants just really getting on top of Tagliabue and Williams combination, and they win this one down again. Bit of a bash and crash on the wing. Eventually it came out though. Chance here for the Giants pressing forward, but the students got their hands on the footy to half forward. Stevenson was pushed off it, but they go inside 50. Bounced off the chest of Buntine. Davies used his body really, really well there just to lock it in without giving a free kick, and it will be tossed up. As we see in the background there's bit of Oz kick happening at half-time, so they're doing a bit of a warm-up because they're at the SCG obviously last week and saw Buddy Franklin do a hamstring after being on the bench for a while and thought, geez, we can't be doing hamstrings, so we need to warm up properly. As the handball came out the back to Goulden, Sydney Uni inside 50 again, big pack of players and good fly, and mark taken there from the skipper in Flynn.
You feel pretty hard done by being a 6 or 7 year old doing a hamstring. A little bit too early for those, you'd hope, but good to see the message being driven in early.
I still haven't developed them.
Always missing. As we see, that's been knocked out. Lovely kick, Iden, but so hard to take it. Instead, Goulden slaps it onto his left foot over the top of Davies. Searching here has been Wellis. But instead, Iden will have a chance to assault again. But no, the students have decided to pick it up. But not cleanly.
This is good pressure from Sydney Uni. Will feel like a couple of repeat entries. Just need to find a player in a bit of space here, and this is what the Giants do so well.
Tristan Davies is trying to make space for himself, but Matt Buntine is just closing his space, not giving him an inch, making it really, really tough, especially with his size and frame.
So tossed in, Valor was front and centre, driven into the turf. And umpire calls for a bounce. The Giants' defence just really good. One-on-ones, their goal side. Tossed up again, forward flank for Sydney Uni. If you've just joined us now, there's a free kick. It's going to go the way of Cam Williams here. In the rucking contest, he was held, put into the turf. And he'll go back, a chance to just stem this margin back to what it was at quarter time.
Pretty important kick given everything that's happening here. I mean, they're not getting any real clean shots at goal. So they have one given to you directly off the set shot through a free.
So he's kicked 2-1 coming into this evening's game. Cam Williams drop punt on the way. Goal umpire right to left as it crosses across the face. And the first minor score for the students. 1-1 plays 3-2. As you mentioned there, Will Jackson, you've got to make the most of your opportunities on a night like this. Obviously the ball's slippery. It's hard to get a shot off, and we're halfway through this, well, we're into time on just about in this second quarter, and we've only seen 4 goals on the night.
Yeah, really hard to get a shot. I mean, even dropping the ball becomes difficult, but there we go, the contested machine, even he's dropping them, and he's usually so clean. Done so well at getting this ball out. Mudge knocks it forward into the contest. Lloyd underneath it. Instead, it's Briggs trying to give a bit of chase here, but the students have to dig their way out of trouble here as Goulden's under a bit of pressure. Goes to the handball and just dances around him. Enjoy your candy, good sir. Playing it back there and sitting it up nicely. Lockie Squire, the long locks are flowing. He's got the headband in. Very easy to recognise. The favoured right foot. Just gets inside 50, but geez, picking that up very nicely was Goulden. Goulden's been really active so far this quarter. He's got a man to his left besides to dink it forward. Going straight through the middle as they like to do. Stevenson, doesn't he have a whopper of a kick. Crockmore underneath it. Who can clean this one up? It is Crockmore. Cleans up his own work. Vella having a look inside. Crockmore back on, puts a short one in. Davies takes the mark and just cleans out the opposition by the knees. Hope he's okay. That is how you do a knee, but nothing malicious in it. Just purely going for the grab. Excellent grab there from Davies.
We've been calling for it all night, Will. Just quick ball movement. Goulden, he was instrumental, wasn't he? And then Valor was smart when the going got tough, and Tristan Davies clean hands up forward. It was perfect play almost for Tom Morrison's troops.
So we like seeing Davies. He's studying physiotherapy. Let's hope his body's feeling okay. He's happy. Immediately puts the fist up in the air, gives it 3 shakes before giving his teammates a few handshakes. First goal of this quarter for the students of a wonderful bit of fast play, excellent mark, and then a wonderful set shot from that man, Tristan Davies. So 2 goals, 1, 13. The 3 goals, 2, 20.
He's such a dead eye in front of the big sticks. 27 goals, 13 this season. So when he has a set shot, you know most of the time he's going to put it through. Turns 24 next week.
He has to work for his contest. He's not the biggest target forward, but so he needs to work at that little bit harder, create that extra space for himself. But he's a terrific mark, and some of the contests he comes away from well, he bats above his weight.
So the umpire, a couple of stretches, and just waiting, and eventually it's banged into the turf, but it will have to go back. Bounced on a bad length.
Stretches didn't pay off for him that time.
Just do it all again. A bit of cat and mouse between the umpire and the ruckman this evening as North Simpson won that one down. Bonner got a handball over the top. Here's a chance for the GWS to get the instant reply. Beautiful kick up. Ripping mark there. Looking forward, Wilson Marge. Elected not to go. Thought, you know what, I can go back and kick a goal myself.
The immediate fast reply there from the Giants as well, Ed. They saw the students. They said, you know what, if you guys can do it, I reckon we have a chance too. And a really similar shot here.
So Wilson Mudge, he's really busy in the hands as he goes back. Drop punt on the way, just missing to the right-hand side. So Giants kicked their third behind. 3-3 plays at 2-1. Back to an 8-point ball game.
Beautiful night, as you said there. The temperature is it's balmy, isn't it? It's, put on a jumper, but don't go too hard.
Don't need a jacket.
No, as we sit here in our jackets and beanies, but things are starting to heat up. And heat up they do through the middle. The students are trying to get their legs warm and moving. Giving a bit of lead there was Stern, but instead into the middle there is Harry Morrison. Doesn't quite read that one correctly. Did he get lost in the light? Stern back on the assault. Can he make a mess of it? Yes, he does. He makes it so difficult for these Giants to clean it out from their own defence. Tackle's made. Iden onto it. And they'll be held up there. Gee, that was exciting. And Stern did a lot of running there to get back and get involved the second time.
Geez, tell you what, Ed Cole wasn't happy. He thought he earned a free kick there as it's tossed up again. Students couldn't quite lock it in. It's touched off the boot. So umpire calls play on. Andrew Sierakowski underneath this one. Bartholomew at the bottom of the pack. Where else would he be? And it will be tossed up.
Typically gets very involved in the tackle count. Yeah, I don't think usually we run through him. He's somewhere towards the top, and perhaps tonight will be no exception. Knocked down there, Simpson, Bonner. Don't think there'll be much chance of him getting it out there. 3 students came in and tackled him. In fact, there's the man we were just talking about, Bartholomew. He's obviously doing some tackling because Aiden Bonner's getting a bit annoyed with him. All the physical assault that's coming from Jake.
Tossed up again. Big Dorse won that one down. Charging through the students. Bonner tackling.
Really tried to burst his way through that tackle, but didn't quite pan out for him there.
That was Darcy Cordell, tossed up again. Big Dorse just grabbed it. He's wrapped up in a Bartholomew's tackle. Umpire calls play on. No, he calls holding of the footy.
A good call.
Just threw it out. So Bartholomew, he's a deadly kick. Deadly kick if he can get on a bit of a... Go back and have a shot. Instead, he'll go underground poor. And Isaac Cumming was... Apologies to Isaac Cumming. It's Harry Grant who was just waiting for it. Put into space. And it eventually goes out of play. And it's a big booming kick. Bartholomew's most of the time. Should have gone long. Had a shot in my books.
Kicking over Dawson Simpson, though, you lose yourself. You got to kick from an extra 5 metres back, I think, compared to some other opponents. It was the right idea, just execution wasn't. So Giants get the tap, but Sydney Uni win the midfield battle on this occasion. Well done, Veal. He chips it forward. Harry Morrison will take that ever so cleanly. And nice bit of link-up play there. Again, they're just relying on these few small bursts of manage to link up together, read each other. You need your most skilled teammates out there because picking it up's difficult. So Harry Morrison here. Usually a pretty good shot at goal. It's also a Williamstown boy.
He's not going to have any problem with this shot at goal. Well, he's got 50. Player on the mark, just overstepping things. So I'll bring it back to a 2-point ball game. And there's a bit of push and shove developing off the ball in the middle of the ground. So plenty of feeling between these two clubs. It's an 8-point game as far as the setup for finals goes, as Morrison just goes back for the simplest of goals.
As cool as you like, Harry Morrison. He always bobs up and down with a goal, but that'll be one of the ones he doesn't... Well, it's not one you'd retell at the pub, is it?
So if I was to ask you, most people at the ground say, yeah, the Giants have dominated today. They've had most of the possession. But believe it or not, Will, the inside 50 count 23-21 the way of the students. So they've had opportunities. They trail this one now by 2 points.
It's interesting, though. I mean, perhaps it's a case of the students just grabbing it from the centre bounce and just hoofing it inside. Bit of the Melbourne Demons strategy, which I've had to suffer through this year, where the Giants try and pick their way, a little bit more strategically.
So both of these sides are among the most efficient in the competition when they go inside 50. We'll get back to that at the next stoppage, as it's back in the middle. And thankfully they know I was running through a stat and I need another stoppage to get to the rest of it. So the Giants and the students average 4 inside 50s per goal, both of them, which is, as I say, the second best in the competition. So play goes on. Austin Lucy went to ground pretty quickly. Handball was rushed. Really tight quarters with the boundary line there, and eventually umpire Matt Bagent, who... He's done a very good job all season. Says, let's throw it in. So the noise that you might be hearing in our NEAFL TV affects, Mike, the Oz kickers. They're warmed up. They're ready to go at half-time.
They're absolutely firing, charging for a chance to get on this ground. But they're going to have to wait as we watch this battle unfold between our eyes. Look at the big thrash there, Simpson. Besides G's big contact there. And Vella just waiting for his opportunity to pounce, but instead it's going to be cleared away. Well done, Isaac Cumming. Played forward, but losing his feet and trying to offer some form of support was Carroll. Pivoting it over the back there. Students just unable to get themselves out of danger once again.
Drew Bevan, I know there's a few fans watching in for him this evening.
He's got a big little fan club, yeah. The comments really getting around Big Drew.
Let us know where you're watching from on NEAFL TV, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, or any of the other mediums. So it's tossed in. Giants in attack. Late, or nearly late stages in this first half. Students clearing kick. It's bashed away there. Giants with numbers at the fall of it. Handball came backwards. Good tackle by the Foz, and Josh Stern was it holding the footy. Umpire says throw it in.
Just want them to send it back towards this way and just play through the middle. I think most of the goals we've seen have come through a bit of dash and clear through the middle.
Be kind. So Tagliabue and Big Dorse Simpson. Big Dorse wins that down. Surprise, surprise. Straight to Shipley. He'll go inside 50. Beautiful kick. Went out the back off hands. Bit of space here, though, for the Students' defenders. Held without. An umpire called play on. Goulden rushed a kick out of defensive 50. It will come back with interest. Harry Grant underground kick was absolutely sensational. And the mark is taken there from Wilson Mudge.
So he gets a second chance at goal here after the Ori kick earlier.
Real clean hands inside 50. Turned 19 earlier. Apologies, turned 18 earlier this year. Played in the NAB League for the Giants earlier this season too. As Mudge comes in, goal umpire sits underneath it and sees it through for a behind.
Can be Ori for his confidence there. Wilson Mudge haven't been the most straightforward, the kicks.
Missed one each side now, so the next one.
They're both pushing him for distance as well, but here go the Students. And speaking of distance, that kick's got a fair bit of weight on it. Davies just surprisingly gets beaten in the contest there.
Callum Brown, he's got really good hands, the Irishman.
The Irishman, he is exceptional. Vella's done so well on the effort. He's got another one to make up, though. Trying to buy a bit of space there, and does. It's chipped over. He'll have another chance here.
Oh, dear.
Oh, no. He gets it again, does Bailey Stewart. Push forward. Underneath and flying. That's not going to work too well. Ed Cole will need to regather and go. That's a pretty high tackle around the neck, but the umpire has decided that he agrees with the commentary team. And they'll be back in their hands. So Tom Muelos will take a run onto the right. Bit of pressure coming by way of Callum Brown. Big contest, so hard to take a mark, but no problem here for Crockmall out in front of Davies. Not quite the ball he wants. He'll have to dance and go. Snapper over the top. Foster fortunately can't get his way there, and it'll be another turnover for the Giants before it's kicked pretty compromising position there, but ends up being absolutely pinpoint for Nick Shipley.
So Shipley short via foot. Why not? Lockie Squire called to go now. Bit of a chipper up the wing. 2-on-1 situation, and the two of the Students win out. In front of a pretty reasonable crowd in front of them. 3-point ball game. Giants leading this one. Real tight tussle. We saw the Students get a late one in that first quarter. First one of the game for them as Flynn used his body well. Giants move it, the footy quickly to the wing, where they've got numbers if the footy bounces their way. Shipley, he can run and dance. He'll take a bounce at the forward flank, then put it inside 50, where they've got numbers out the back. Kick was cut off. Hill working hard. Still going really well. Andrew Sirakowski had his head knocked into Penrith, I reckon.
We have a viewer out in Penrith, so let us know if you find his head.
So Andrew Sirakowski just reattaches it. Gets to foot and he's okay.
He'll have to have his head on his shoulders to pick out a teammate here, and he does in the contested marking machine, Michael Carroll. So he can mark. How will he go on the kick here? Looking for a target. There's a few out wide. Goes to the big man. Oh, wow. Great use of the body there, Matthew Flynn. So he's done so all day in the ruck contest. Laterally, Aidan Bonner had Flack over. Decided not to use him. So here's Aidan Bonner. He's a pretty cool kick of the football too. Into a big pack.
Oh.
I mean, you'd be surprised someone came off it. Instead, it could have been Bobby Hill. Got excited for Bobby Hill charging into that goal square.
He's just warming up for the second half, Bobby.
He is. He likes to leave it till late. Get the last word in. So there goes the kick out by way of the students. Louis Stevenson onto the ball here on the far flank.
Just happy to slow things down. 4-point ball game. Stevenson, a booming kick, will go to the wing. They've got numbers here, the students. Flynn had other ideas. Came down to Foster through midfield. Here's a chance for them. Bartholomeus, he'll put the footy under his arms. He'll run and put it inside 50. Vacant goal square. Bouncing ball. Will it skid through? It'll come up short, about 10 metres short. Then it's rushed through for a behind. He had the 10 metres to run in front of him as well, did Bartholomeus.
That was pretty professionally done there, that. Let's take through.
Back to 3 points.
Connor Iden onto his right boot. 1-on-1, but
mark.
1 out. Yeah, great mark. Use his closing speed to get in front. They're just going to chip it around here. We've had about 29 minutes past. Approaching the 30-minute mark. Pressure applied. It could be his demise as he turns it over quickly and kicks to absolutely no one. Bit of a fumble here. Bartholomeus goes long again. He had the first one. It didn't come off the first time. Will it the second? No, it will not. Unfortunately, it's gone away to the left-hand side of the larger of the two goal sticks.
That's his range, isn't it? That's centre square line. That's 2 shots he's had from there, and the third set shot that he had from there, he just decided to pass off. So I'm glad he's not doing that anymore. As the short kick came into Shipley.
You just feel this game's starting to warm up a little bit, though.
He goes short to Bonner. So Bonner elects just to play on, then bang one long up the wing. Pack of players. Reinhard flew from behind, did well. Fist went flying as the Giants rush it forward, but it was out of play. We'll have a toss in right in front of their bench.
Starting to see a few more tricks come out of the bag, a few more audacious moves played forward. Maybe just going a little bit off book. Instead of going for your carbon technique, they're just going for the hit and hope, and perhaps that's what this game needs, a bit of break open. Everyone's a little bit tense. You know, crack a joke, warm up your audience. Get them going.
Break the ice.
Break the ice. And there's not too much ice because it is a warm night, and Callum Brown's going to show and go. He's a good mover for such a big man. He's an Irishman. Love to move around. Here's Cam Williams. He'll see a bit of assaulting pressure there from Shipley. And he'll get taken out of bounds. Shipley, well, look, I'm sure if we looked at the stat sheet, he would have been active today, but you just haven't felt
Leading
him.
possession, get it on the ground, Will. 17, 2 marks, 6 tackles.
There you go.
Been everywhere.
But given the context of the game, you know, you haven't noticed him as much. You haven't felt him making as much of an impact as he usually does. Tapped in and goes. Sierakowski couldn't get it cleanly. Instead, there he is, Shipley, just shoving his disposals in my face. He'll get 2 for 1 deal. No, he drops it onto the ground. It's an incorrect disposal. And a great call there from the umpire.
Second free kick against for Shipley.
There you go. He really has been active. But again,
So the students at half-back.
I'll stand by it.
Long to the wing. Good use of the body there from Connor Iden. And it will be tossed in right where this play began before. Hopefully you're enjoying this one on NEAFL TV, wherever you're watching. Real arm wrestle, real important game for both of these two clubs. In the context of the season, Bailey Stewart, good use of the body, ragdolled to ground by Bobby Hill. He can do it all, can't he? We talk him up probably a little bit too much, but he's an excitement machine, is Ian Hill.
We're not talking him up, we're spurring him on. We're trying again to make this game fascinating.
Perhaps we're fanboys as the students just mung the kick out of play. Late chance here for the Giants. In the hands of Kane Flack. He'll just bang it long on his right boot to half forward. Stewart came from behind. Giants with numbers. Handball turned over. Charging through. Campbell eventually came out to Bartholomeus. Ripping tackle driven into the turf. How good was that from Daniel Lloyd?
Daniel Lloyd lets him know all about it as well. Before they'd even slid out of bounds, he was on his knees letting him know what he'd just done.
Just about need an excavator to put the turf back into place. That was a cracking tackle.
Absolute ripper. See a few of those tonight. We're loving the feeling. If there's anything to take out of this game, it's the push and shove and how much it means to each side. Speaking of meaningful, there's Foster. Gives a bit of a wayward handball. not going to come to fruition. We're liking it very slowly. The cracks are starting to appear as we've ticked over the 33.5-minute mark.
Another long quarter.
Long time between goals. It's almost soccer match style goal scoring. As Vella tries to wrestle his way out, and wrestle he does. He's done well. It's slapped away. Foster with a chance here to pick up and go. And here's a little bit of movement. Tristan Davies into the contest. Can't be picked up. Cole overruns it. There he is there. Picking up again, Shipley. Does he want to grab a disposal despite me? No, it's there's Bartholomeus. Puts the chipper out. Big Tagliabue. Probably could have snapped it in. Instead, leaves it to Stevenson. Ooh, a little bit of a mismatch at the back there. And a chance here. Geez, good, easy, simple running here. Tommy Sheridan, bit of show and go and burn. Using his athleticism far forward.
Desperate stuff there from Austin Lucy. Siren sounds for half-time, and gee, I tell you what, we've got a cracking game on our hands here. It is the Giants leading the Students. 3-5 plays 3-3. It is a 2-point ball game. Round 13 of the NEAFL. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. We're going to take a short break on NEAFL TV. We'll come back with what's no doubt going to be a second half thriller from Henson Park in inner Western Sydney. It is the Giants leading Sydney Uni by 2 points. 3-5 plays 3-3. Welcome back to Henson Park. It is the Giants leading this one by 2 points. Absolute thriller. I'm Eddie Summerfield. Joined in commentary this evening by Will Jackson. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. Wherever you're watching this on NEAFL TV right across Australia, as players make their way back to their positions and the Little Leaguers make their way off the ground. Leading possession getters to half-time. Nick Shipley for the Giants. He's had 17. Isaac Cumming 16 for the Sydney Uni students. Jack Bartholomeus has had 17. Louis Stevenson has had 12. I'm Eddie Summerfield. Second half about to get underway. Here is Will Jackson. It's a 2-point lead the way of the Giants.
So we look to continue the ruck battle. He doesn't decide to bring that one back. Didn't want to go 3 calls in a row with the awkward first bounce. Great tackle put in there. Cleared away but couldn't be taken. Goulden was underneath it. So it's been picked up inside ball. Simpson trying to wrestle his way out of trouble. Bonner will try and bobble it up to himself. Louis Stevenson copping a bit of heat there from Shipley. Left foot, right foot snap is going to go out of bounds on the full.
Our goal kickers to half-time. Of course, there hasn't been too many in this affair at Henson Park. Davies, Morrison and Stern have all kicked one apiece for the students. And across it, the Giants, Edwards, Flynn and Bobby Hill as the Giants press forward again. Big fly. Bit of a falcon out the back as the kick came forward again for the students. Stevenson there. And the footy's eventually urged out of play where it will be tossed in. Really good crowd in the house, Will Jackson. What do you make of that first half? What's going to happen this second half?
A cracking first half in terms of a close scoring affair, but just a very constricted, strangled battle through the midfield. Just a lot of playing around the fringes. Hopefully see a bit more running through the middle to open the game up. And speaking of a middle runner, Aidan Bonner comes clambering through and places it forward. Bit of a chance here to go forward. Kieran Briggs underneath it. Still trying to work it with his larger frame, and students will go. Bartholomeus nearly gets eaten alive, but bounces off it. Buntime will give it a punch. Students with a chance to play it forward. Umpire, as I would agree with him, says it's out of bounds. Was a very interesting first half, and slippery ball, tight quarters and really strong defensive pressure. You're just hoping that this game unlocks a little bit and we see the running prowess of these two sides. Perfect
night for footy in Sydney. Pretty dry day today if you're watching from outside this great city. Wet earlier in the week, ground still a bit wet underfoot. Here's Bobby Hill. He can get the spark going in this second half. Banana inside 50, front and centre, the Giants with numbers. Flynn, handball inboard was good. Kick around the body by Lloyd to the hot spot. Good use of the body, who's weaving and crumbing. Handball out wide. Students, defenders, though, they're in right place at right time. Stern involved too. Ball bobbles around. Bartholomeus, Bonner. And we'll have another bounce.
Pretty good position here for the Giants, looking to draw first blood in this second half as it goes up in the air. Front on position there, Tagliabue plays it and intercepts there. Bailey Stewart having to do some defensive work to make up for it. Clambering into the ground, a few patches of grass go flying and all the knees over the ball right now. Hard to get out, the umpire says, with me please. A couple more of those and I'm sure there'll be a free kick. Clear the area. Everyone's up really far forward. No one on the other side of the half. And why would you be? Who wants to get on the score sheet? Sierakowski will. Places it forward. Inside ball running nicely. Kilpatrick on the left boot. And charging onto it. Tom Banuelos, who'll likely get shepherded and does. So there's Callum Brown. Worked well with Connor Iden back there. That kick is out on the full. Yes, it is. It'll be a free kick by way of Lachlan Kilpatrick.
So Lockie Kilpatrick, he's had plenty of it today. 12 touches, 9 kicks, 3 handballs, 5 marks. And this free kick, pretty good crowd on the eastern side of the ground as Kilpatrick comes with a short kick to Bartholomeus. He's a big booming kick. We've seen him have a couple of running shots at goal early in that second quarter. Missed both of them as he goes searching for Foster, and it's well marked by Isaac Cumming. The boy from Broken Hill, academy selection for the Giants. He can run, carry, fly and do it all. He goes long to the wing on this occasion. Pack of players really well crumbed there by Reinhardt. Couldn't quite get a clean possession, so it's go wide via hand. Bailey Stewart will run onto it. Boundary line will beat him. And it will be tossed in.
It was that little moment of Students' flair there. A few link-up handballs. Last one couldn't quite go, but
They play their best footy when they're running and going quickly, don't they?
going quick and surprising the opposition. And you do have to take the Giants by surprise. Their structure is excellent and their experience really holds them in good stead. Giants here, good little shove off and the slip and dance. Wow, wonderful stuff. Athleticism goes out. That's Shipley who plays it forward. Big Flynn turns and has a look. Puts it forward into the path here. There's a good little run by way of Buckley. Buckley's going to clear this up, put it onto his left, and it's just come off awfully, unfortunately for him. Did well to get into that position. It was solid play through the middle. Nick Shipley.
So the students will bring it in short to Reinhardt. Marked uncontested. Short kick as a poor one. Stern turned over. Brown inboard. Bonner's there. He'll just dummy the handball out wide. Lloyd from a standing start. Big booming kick is a beautiful goal. Giants have the first of the second half. And they're out to a 9-point lead through the big booming right boot of Daniel Lloyd. Standing start from the New South Wales Central Coast. And that was a ripping kick.
They're almost being too unselfish, the Giants there. A few times I thought Bonner was going to load up there, but they just kept sending it along. Look, they obviously picked out Lloyd, said, hey, you're a pretty crack kick. Take yours from 50. I'll back you in from 50 rather than myself from 40. So why not? And it worked for him.
Disappointing there. The students had a couple of opportunities there going forward earlier in that play, and then the Giants just showing their class. This quarter kind of a carbon copy of the first two, the Giants dominating proceedings early.
This Giants backline is really imposing, though. You got Iden and Brown, Cummings is back there. There's just some
Buntine as well.
There's just some really strong bodies, athletic guys, and lots of experience. So, going to make it really difficult for the students to get any sort of attacking marks, in the contest there.
Steen, too, who obviously made his AFL debut last week, the decathlete. As it came to Bonner, flicked it out via hand. They'll get the clearance through Tommy Sheridan, I think it was. Students with numbers at half-back, though. Handball came out the way of Bartholomeus. He's starting to find the footy. His kick's good. Goulden just kept coming. Handball, he's got a loose man at centre-half forward. Will it bounce his way? It did just. Goulden kept coming from 40. That is a ripping goal, Sydney Uni. How good was that, end to end? The students have the quick reply through the running Adam Goulden, and that's one of the goals of the year in the NEAFL.
He just did not stop running. From the second he got that ball in the middle, I think he linked up with 5 players to finish that off, and wow, he nearly got closed in the gap there, but absolutely terrific. Goulden deserves he won't get one, but he deserves a beer after the match, and certainly deserves the high fives and praise he'll get. Terrific stuff, and great response too. Just the open play we want to see.
What do we say? Take it fast, take the game on, and that's when they play their best footy.
That's when they do it, and it often starts with Goulden down back. Usually joined by the Glebe Greyhound Hiscox, who, as you've mentioned, is missing tonight.
Played all 10 games this year, has Adam Goulden.
He's played them very well. So the ruck battle continues. Cam Williams definitely in a bit of strife there. Vella's done well to rip it out of the hands of Bonner, but shanked down and clearance is made. Giants inside 50. Not going to be taking Goulden there, the goal scorer before. Did well to wrestle it out. It's going to land pretty comfortably there in the hands of Harry Grant. So he turns and has a look. A couple of players on the outside, says no thanks. A little bit too risky. Let's keep this ball in hand. Grant sends it on long inside. Big fly coming forward. Briggs couldn't be taken. Socket out of the air and plucked away there. Flynn puts it in. Crockmall. Fast moving ball here. So students have a few numbers here. Foster puts it inside. Can this be taken? Big contest nearly. Could have been dangerous. Far more inside running off the handball. Should be marked. Isn't marked, unfortunately. Davies, plenty more work to do. This is absolutely swarmed by that so organised defensive unit of the Giants. And it'll be a ball up. So we've seen so many times tonight, but certainly the right intent there.
So Dawes Simpson and Tagliabue. Tagliabue won that one down. Vallow was held without. Umpire called play on. Bonner kicked it towards the broadcast side of the ground. Foot race is on. There's 2 students leading in the race of it. Aidan Bonner there too. Got a good bounce. Did young Reinhardt. Kept it in front of himself. Then rushed to kick on his right boot. Pressure's really good from Buntine on the back of that tackle. And it will be tossed up on the flank. Monty Crockmall picks himself up. Playing in his 85th game for Sydney Uni, 6th all-time in the NEAFL.
Plenty of miles in those legs at NEAFL level. Ball's cleared away and a bit of a run from Stevenson there. will go over. They must have been practicing their skills at half-time because each side's been a little bit cleaner with the ball. Perhaps they got the Dettol out at half-time and went to work with their hands.
The Dettol?
Got the Dettol, get the hands clean. Make sure that they can use it a bit better.
Disinfect them too.
That's right. Nothing cleaner. There could be some industrial grade stuff out there which I haven't heard about. For now, we'll stick with the Dettol. Bonner slams it forward onto the boot. Big traction engine. Briggs, here he is. We'd like to see him. Bobby Hill, excitement machine. That one not so exciting. It's likely trickles out of bounds. That would have been really rare in getting the crowd up.
Geez, Briggs and Hill combining. I liked that. The Giants would like that.
They've been on quite a lot of highlight reels this year, those two, so it'll be nice to see him finish it off. But the play's not over yet, Ed.
Maybe that was a tactic from Hill to just get it deep in the pocket so he can bend one around the body. He's lurking out the front of this stoppage, but Kilpatrick has other ideas for Sydney Uni. Clears defensive 50 only just. Good pressure from the Giants forwards though. Isaac Cumming got boot to ball inside 50. Hanging out the back was Cam Williams for Uni. Goes to Bartholomeus on the bounce. He's going to have to work hard. Buckley did well. Good tackle. Bartholomeus just better. Turned it over. Off for a standing start. Bobby Hill in the pocket marks. Sliding mark. Maybe that's what he was planning all along by Bobby. Kicked one in the second quarter. And he'll just be telling the umpire, can you make that angle a little bit harder? Sucks them in.
Here's your pocket, Eddie.
Around the corner, Bobby Hill from 2 steps. All part of the plan, missing across the face.
He's got something else brewing. We thought he must only be 5 plays in front. Maybe he's 10.
Maybe he's 10.
Just maybe. As he waits to get himself onto that highlight reel once again. Kieran Briggs been a little bit quiet today, which is a shame. Always like to get around to check out Chick Boy from Pennant Hills.
Been playing deep forward today. Haven't seen him run through the midfield in doing any rucking duties with Flynn and Simpson in the team. So
they're backing his aerial prowess. Injured, got a flag, absolutely driven here, and a chance to attack here. Bit of push and shove. He's going. They're all distracted. Ed Cole puts it forward. Can it be taken cleanly? Can he reel out this tackle? Not quite. Picked up. Shipley there as the last man defence before plenty of others come forward. The argy-bargy stopped because they realised just how threatening that play could have been.
Geez, it was Steen and Davies just going toe-for-toe on the half-back flank for the students, and Davies thought, geez, I need to be down there. That's down our forward line.
Hope Flack's ribs are okay. He was absolutely driven into the turf there. Another chance here. Tom Benuelos gives off a short little stinker into the ground. Can it be ripped out from there? No, it won't, but certainly still a chance to attack here. Really exciting stuff. Once again, you are starting to sense that this is beginning to unlock.
Stay with us on NEAFL TV. 4-point ball game as Vala's got it for the students. Good tackle there from Shipley. He's been really good tackling today. He's had 6 tackles. Daniel Lloyd, who kicked that booming goal before, he's had 10. While Bartholomeus, he's also had 10, equal best on ground at the moment. As the handball comes out, as a whistle on play here, it's coming from the umpire off the play who saw the throw. Really good work from the men with the whistle. Bartholomeus inside 50, bit of a slider for Davies. Doesn't matter, they got players front and square. Partially smothered off the boot. Still a chance though. As it came back via hand, they'll just chip it around. Good strong mark not taken, but he'll get a free kick there. Milked it for everything, and it was worth Ed Cole.
You reckon he milked it? I reckon he got punched.
He genuinely got punched in the face after he tried to take the mark.
He got smacked. Here we go.
So he'll go quickly. Veal, the shot at goal. It's a booming kick. Students are in front. How good is that? Veal, a standing start from outside 50. He's had a pretty quiet night. They come from everywhere because they've hit the front by 3 points midway through this third quarter.
Nothing like the wheeling lead from one of your biggest kicks. Give me the football, son. Let me handle it.
You've been belted in the head, Ed. Give it to me, said Jake.
Absolutely walloped it. Cracking goal. Really great. The crowd got around them too and gives the Giants something to think about because they have really been in control for most of this game, but all of a sudden they're looking at the scoreboard saying, what happened?
How are we behind?
How are we behind? Bit of a return to serve. We had Lloyd from outside 50 and now anything you can do, I can do better, say the students.
So they've kicked the last 2 goals of this game, Will Jackson. Goulden, that goal of the year contender from half back. He just charged through the middle. Tossed up again in the middle as the Giants go forward.
Giants looking for a chance to attack and respond here. Mark nearly taking the big man into the mixer there. Simpson, instead there he is, Golden. Can he bring up some more magic? No, it's been turned over by Green. Green's done well there. Can they play it out through the middle? There's just so much congestion, but somehow they find a way. And Dawson Simpson, big booming kick forward. Such an awkward pack there as Lucy makes it even more difficult. He gathers there. Morrison plays it forward. Couple more underneath.
Ooh.
Couple men spoil each other, but Matty Flynn took the contested mark against his own man. Way big show and go. Falling for the oldest trick in the book. Plays forward. Will it go out? No. Bobby Hill playing around that pocket tentatively. Can he get himself onto the highlights reel again?
Bit of smoke from the barbecue just floating over the ground here at Henson Park. Really still night. Tossed in. Students in defence at the moment. Simpson won this one down. Simpson still just trying to find the handle on it. Hill bent over, picked it up eventually. Handball came out wide. Josh Stern kicked a goal earlier today. Did well for Sydney Uni. Kept it in front of himself, then went off the ground. Got it to the wing eventually, but there's a wall of students. Steen got a kick inside 50. Standing underneath it, and a good strong dropping mark by Lewis Stevenson. Giants forward again. They're under pressure here, Sydney Uni. Got to get it out of there. Kieran Briggs used the body. Got it to Bobby Hill around the body. Misses. Briggs and Hill show.
Trying to get them both involved into the game. They're slowly working themselves into the game. So what can the students do here? Awkward looking barrel's going to land nearly into the chest of Darcy Cordell. He's got a little bit of follow-up work to do as it spills to the ground and bobbles. No thank you, umpire. We'll just toss that one up in the air. So big Tagley Boo says, oh no, not this again. These ruckmen absolutely strong as they come. Bailey Stewart gets a little bump for his measure, stealing out the blocks here. Giants try and regather. Goulden will just see that go into touch, but it didn't quite go for the behind he wanted, and they're still going to be under enormous pressure here. They might just be able to open them up here, the Giants. There's a little bit doing around the contest. Still very, very tight, though.
It's a 1 point game, Will. Doesn't get much tighter than that on NEAFL TV. Hopefully you're enjoying this one. Real slog, but real tight tussle between these two clubs who are so evenly poised in season 2019. Sirakowski handball backwards for the students, turned it straight over. Lucy was there doing a bit of cleaning up, high up and under kick, big fly, no one could mark it. And they're quite happy to see the play go out of bounds through Harry Morrison.
Just starting to go back into their shells a little bit, these sides. Well, I mean, that's what happens when you're trying to defend on your own goal line and vice versa, trying to attack on your own goal line. Long throw comes in, bit flatter that time. Arms being tired. Vella, he's done really well this quarter. Vella popped up and down. Great fly, Matty Flynn, the biggest man in the pack. Takes it. Wonderful stuff. Didn't even have to use a knee before he puts a wonderful kick in. Shame it wasn't taken. So Stern with a bit of work to do and might patch up nicely for him if they can just get this ball out and release some runners. But the only person doing the most running is the umpire, who will come and say, ball with me, please. And to get this one up again. Come on, Tags. He's looking fit out there, Tags. He rides his bike to and from his work in the city each day. So he's obviously clocking up the miles, keeping the fitness up. Rain or shine, apparently.
You can see that in the quads and the calves.
Might need to stop the cycling, though, and get back onto the pies, make sure he can hold his ground against Matty Flynn and Dawes Simpson, who are just such massive bodies and working them well.
So tossed in, don't know how he'd go with the cardio if he got back on the pies. It's on the wing at the moment. Both teams going hard at it. Harry Grant, happy to see it out of play.
What have you made of the youngsters today? They've bobbed up a fair bit.
Bobbed up. They've held their ground against Sydney Uni side that's, as we've alluded to, playing together a fair bit. And
they've created opportunities. Wilson Mudge there with a couple of shots at goal and couldn't quite convert them, but he's done well to get in the position.
Harry Grant's been good. Bevan's been very good. Got a big fan club watching on NEAFL TV. Lockie Squires bobbed up here and there. Cam Edwards as well really enjoyed his game.
He's been great the past few weeks doing the relief work here, and might have to do a bit more relief work here as one of the youngsters. It actually was
Lockie Squire, who got the kick up forward, but it's cut off.
A few of the youngsters have very long flowing locks.
Josh Green as well, he's had a bit of it as it comes to Andrew Sirakowski, dropped it. Chance goes begging there as Louis Stevenson to half forward. Ooh, a bit of a weird one for the students. Iden went back via hand to Dorse Simpson. Goes long to half forward. Goulden's there, couldn't mark on this occasion. Ball at ground level. Giants with numbers there, did really well, snapping around the body. Is that man, Lockie Squire, but they're under pressure here, the students. They did very well to hold their own. Short kick didn't go the 15. I'll just try and chip it out. Goulden marks.
That could have been absolute chaos there.
Should have been carnage, shouldn't it? So Goulden's kick goes out wide towards the boundary line. They'll just chip it up. How nice was that? Nick Foster, early birthday present for him. He'll go inboard to the wing. Risky kick, poor kick, turnover. Chance here for the Giants. It will be Jack Buckley who'll put it inside 50. But the students again, right place, right time. Went quickly, interesting tactic. It'll work well. Bartholomaeus.
I like to go quickly, and we know that. So Bartholomaeus has opted to slow things down. Tristan Davies has made his way onto the field, and he's beginning to start his lead forward. They're going to need him in the contest, though, as he leads from behind. There he is. It bounces off his shoulder. Doesn't make the highlights reel, unfortunately. So close, yet so far. How about that? Walk onto the field, take an absolute screamer. Thank you very much.
Not the case. He's taken back down to the forward goal square. Tap came the way of Shipley off his boot and be a throw-in.
Been a very interesting little passage of play here. Both teams again just holding each other in that headlock. No one wants to let go. Bit of a brother fight.
Certainly is.
As this one goes back in play. Shoved aside there was Tagliabue, and good little bit of hands there. Daniel Lloyd turning it around. Very long snap of the body. Kieran Briggs out in front here. Can he tap it forward to himself? Kieran Briggs, he's still running, still playing. Arms up. Where's the gather? Gives it. Simple. Turning. Shot at goal. Can he get the bounce? Not quite. Bit of a shame there for Bevan. The fan club at home would have loved that one, but unfortunately it'll just be the minor. They'll come out again.
Drew Bevan bobbed up really nicely in this third quarter as Goulden, he'll do the kicking in duties. Can go up the corridor. There's a couple of options there, but the Giants have marked off reasonably well. And his kick to the pocket's a real good one. And Austin Lucy marks strongly. One of the experienced campaigners for Sydney Uni. Called to go now by the umpire, long to the wing. And it's going to come back with a bit of interest as Matt Buntine takes an uncontested mark. Pretty quiet day for him. Short one's a good one to one of those young players we were talking about earlier, Harry Grant from Queanbeyan. Short one is good. Shipley. Local product for the Giants. First player drafted from the Sydney Basin for this relatively new club as the students try and clear again. Shipley from behind marks. So he's 55 out. He's got a big leg on him when he's running. So he goes now to the top of the goal square. Flynn's there, good use of the body and good mark. Just flung his defender off, got his hands free. And a ripping mark from the skipper this evening and should go back to give the Giants a 5-point lead.
Absolute definition of using your body. Just shrugged him off like it was no one's business. Just ragdolled him aside.
Looks like a drill that you'd do with a coach, perhaps, just to flick him off at the end. So begins his approach, does Flynn. Been really good today in the ruck and pressing forward. Done a bit of work in defence as well, and that one straight through the middle, and the Giants are back in front.
Good captain's nudge there from Matty Flynn. He's had a good outing today. Been very prevalent across the park.
18 touches, 10 marks, 22 hit-outs, 3 clearances, 4 inside 50s, and 2 goals. Leading scorer on the paddock in a low-scoring affair.
That is the absolute definition of a captain's knock. Captain's goal. It's wonderful stuff, but still a chance here for the students to respond. 6 points the difference. Students have been good this quarter. Again, despite not stringing too much together, you've just seen that attacking intent.
Giants certainly their opportunities. 2-4 in this quarter to 2 straight.
as it's knocked down now, and Aiden Bonner will see what he can make of this one, and it's been flipped out of his grip. Tagliabue gave a quick ball out. Sierakowski gave it inside too. The clearance is made. Well done, Veal, before being pushed aside there. Callum Brown. He's going to have a look up here and see what he can pick out here, Brown.
Happy to slow things down.
The Irishman, gee, very, very big kick there, Large. Little jumper there, there's an absolute burst from the pack here. Decides to just dink it forward. Will he have to follow up his own work? It'll just go through for or behind. Bobby Hill just teasing us with some excitement.
He's kicked 1 goal for tonight, Bobby. So he's certainly lurking, just inaccurately. So Students again trailing now by 1 straight kick as it comes into Crockmall. Kick out wide's a good one.
They've been a lot better coming outside their own 50 as opposed to last week. Something they must have worked on.
Even in the second half has improved vastly from the first as Foster's kick goes long to the wing and is bashed out of play. Just a little bit more confident going forward, and that pressure that the Brisbane Lions are just strangling the competition with at the moment just perhaps isn't there, so it allows players to get to those positions where they're coached to go to.
So although you wouldn't say the Giants are slacking off in defence by any account.
Just good tackle there, Sierakowski on Shipley. Umpire called play on. Shipley got it back. Went back to Isaac Cumming around the body to half forward. Kieran Briggs did very nicely. Couldn't quite get possession. Laid a good tackle. Kilpatrick there. Goulden at half back. Dangerous from this position. Handballed out wide to Lucy. Short little chipper up the wing is a good one. And they're just working this very nicely. Cam Williams has got it. He'll give and go to Goulden. Running through midfield. Inside 50. Davies the target. Got it on the bounce. He'll dish it off via hand. Did well round the body. Couldn't quite get a clean kick. Defenders there for the Giants. They'll come back with a bit of interest. Turned over. Andrew Sierakowski inside 50. Goulden kept coming. Goulden will want it there. Off the ground by Buckley. Held off it. Umpire called play on. Ducking and weaving. Cordell for the Students. Inside 50 from Sierakowski, and it's cut off and the mark's taken by Shipley.
Bevan lucky there not to get pinged for an incorrect disposal. Deemed to not have enough time, and probably a fair assumption. Bit of a chance there for a mark. Instead, Kilpatrick drills it onto his left boot out in the front of Stern. Also there is Foster. Tries to tap it forward to him. Fair bit of play there. Shipley having to shrug. Gives a bit of a don't argue there. Powerful use of the body. Can be taken out of bounds. Gee, Goulden's been good today, hasn't he, Ed? He's just been exceptional with his ball use. He's kicking out from his own 50 and then coming out, and now free kick's been paid to Stern.
I think he copped one high in the stoppage. Didn't quite exactly get it.
Interesting to see how that paid out on the replay.
So he's been good. He kicked the first goal of the day for the Students, did Josh Stern. Provided a real option for them up forward. Kicked 15 goals, 3 this year, so let's see how he goes from the pocket.
Another boy from Pennant Hills goes check side. Is it bending enough? Yes, it is. He loves it. And as do his teammates. Wonderful banana kick from the pocket. And that's his second goal for the day. The man they call Flipper. Very big feet and very accurate feet out here tonight at Henson Park. Friday Night Lights.
1 point ball game. Geez, they've bought the contest this evening, haven't they? That we're expecting and wanting.
Really starting to shape up. I think this quarter's nearly provided more points than the whole first half. So
we've had 5 goals this quarter, and we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the first half.
Well, there we go. Still plenty of time left. The clock's just ticked over 26 minutes, it looks like, from here.
27.
27. The bright red electric scoreboard.
Tough to read it during the evening.
Can be tough.
Back in the middle. Giants have done pretty well from the centre clearances today, but on this occasion, now there's a whistle, and it's going to go the way of the Students. Came from the umpire off the play again, so I think we were blindsided on the broadcast side as to what it was actually for. Inside 50, booming kick. Davies the target from behind, got caught. And Buntine standing his ground really well. Marks strongly. So he's been a bit of a yo-yo this year, Buntine, up and down from the 1s to the 2s. Long kick to the wing from behind Carroll. Couldn't mark on this occasion. did well to create a contest. Giants with numbers. That's been dragged back in. How the umpires see it. Circling. Could be a free kick to the Giants. And it's not. So toss up. Wing. 1 point lead the way of the Giants. Simpson to Shipley. Called that a lot this evening. And Andrew Sierakowski cutting it off. Happy to slow things down late in this third quarter, the premiership quarter. Long kick, Davies the target, bashed off hands. So, can't be too long left in this quarter.
Edging towards 30 minutes past on the...
Most of the quarters, oddly enough, will have been 33, 34 minutes, so perhaps there's still a little bit of time, and considering the goals we've seen this quarter, maybe there's still a long while left.
So we look for this to be thrashed out from the middle there. Bonner's lurking, tries to get out cleanly. Not going to be the case this time, but they'll have another go at it. Attempted clearance made. Lots of students there, a library full of students down there on the park trying to line up for that, and just a bit of a miscommunication there. They had 3 of them. 2 of them didn't want to pick it up. Instead, it's going to go up into the air again. Blind the ruckman. I wish they had sunglasses, the amount they've been having to look up for the balls. It's tossed up. Another stoppage will be played here. Plenty more work to do. So students here, they're behind. They're trailing by 1 at the moment. Not too long left. And either score with either level or take the lead. All the more exciting. Another attempted clearance coming out of the blocks there, but just couldn't quite be taken. Kilpatrick finding his way. Be held up once again.
Bailey Stewart reckon he copped one high in that stoppage. Umpire said, no, you didn't. So toss up. Students in attack if you've just joined us. Came out the way of Lloyd. Couldn't quite get a clean possession. Perhaps one in the back there, and there's a free kick for a hold. It will go the way of the students. So inside 50. Wants Davies on the lead. Couldn't mark. Hanging out the back. Dribbling. Hits the post. Scores level at Henson Park. Just a slow little dribbler there from Van Wallace as the Giants bring it in swiftly. In the pocket, short one. Dangerous kick here for Brown. Couldn't quite mark. Pressure's on. Shipley back via hand was good as the Giants cleared offensive 50. Sierakowski parked himself under it. Did well. Giants pressing forward. Handball searching for Lockie Squire. And it will be thrown up. Geez, thought we could have had a good goal there, but not the case.
I thought we were looking at one. Tom Banuelos well, he started his celebration, but thankfully didn't get too carried away. Had to rein it in. Speaking of things coming in, there goes the football. Underneath that, there's Aidan Bonner. Somehow managed to get that one out at the last minute, but it was just too little too late. Umpire getting involved again, so can't be too much time left. 32.5 minutes just ticked over on the large scoreboard here at Henson Park. Bailey Stewart tries to get his mitts onto the ball. Gee, Shipley's done well there to hold off 2 defenders, but the most he could do was let it trickle out of bounds.
Did well to get boat to ball then, didn't he, Shipley?
Did well to not get driven into the turf. Really used his strength and skill there, as we always see from Nick Shipley weekend. He's disposal machine, ball magnet. He's a pretty strong decision maker too. Cam Williams bumped aside there by Darcy Cameron. If they can get a little bit of quick running here, which they might, just can't be taken cleanly enough. Good tackle made, but inside he's sharp and effective. Bonner placed it forward. Just get run over into touch.
26 touches today, Nick Shipley, leading possession getter on the ground. Bartholomeus has had 24. It's all square here at Henson Park, in for a grandstand finish. 40 points apiece. 6-4 plays 5-10, so the Giants have really had their opportunities. Tossed in, centre wing. 3-quarter siren sounds, and we're in for a cracking finish here to Friday Night Footy on NEAFL TV. It's all square, as I mentioned moments ago. 6-4 plays 5-10. Go grab a cold one from the fridge, or go put the jug on, make yourself a tea, whatever your ale, and make sure you come back. Bang in the comments, who do you think is going to win this one? Because it is all square. 40 points apiece. We're going to take a short break here at Henson Park in Western Sydney, where the scores are level. Welcome back to Henson Park. Scores are all squared here at three-quarter time, round 13 of the NEAFL. To get the round underway, Sydney Uni and GWS. I'm Eddie Summerfield, joined by Will Jackson in commentary this evening. 3-1 to 2-5 in that third quarter. Sydney Uni won the quarter, but the Giants, they kicked 5 goals, 10. Certainly had their opportunities this evening. Will Jackson, before play gets underway, who's going to win?
I think I'm tipping the Giants in to just let their experience close out this game, but gee, you'd love to see a fast-finishing Students outfit cause a bit of an upset here in the game. You felt they might have gotten strangled out there, so it should be exciting to watch.
I'll go for the Students to make things interesting between you and I. Giants to the right-hand side of your screen. They got the clearance. Buntine lurking. Don't know what he's doing down there. And he's dragged it in. Umpire says, though, let's ball it up.
See Buckley back out on the field. They're missing Dill Buckley out there today and probably missing that run through the middle without him out there. Perhaps working on his podcast, is he? As it's played forward. Good use of the body there from Ed Cole. Just slowed things down, just let it sink into his chest. Very clever bit of play. And he puts it up to a 1-1. Tough one with Brown underneath. He's such a great vertical leap. The big clearances were made. Thought there was going to be advantage paid. But it's a free kick to the Giants instead. And look, you'd say lucky not to get 50 there, but I think the umpire puts a bit of reason in.
17 free kicks to 6, the way of the Students this evening.
There's been too many free kicks in general, but those pretty damning stats. Wouldn't say favouritism though.
No.
Slap forward, top of the goal square. Couldn't quite be played forward. That's a clever little soccer on the ground, but could now be a very dangerous soccer along the ground. That's not working out for him. Ball is called. The crowd called for it. The umpire's going to hand it over too. So Students did well to get out of danger. Looked like they could have been in trouble there. Stern, big long lateral right foot kick. Goulden, he's been terrific today. Arguably, I'd give him my best if we ended the game right here and now. Probably purely for that goal he kicked.
Was good.
So quick bit of play here in the inside ball. Didn't have a chance to run too much further. It's going to go high and under. Tough game to play against the Giants, the contested marking game, but see how it pans out for them. Running away for it down the far side. Bonner's there in support if they can get it to him. Instead, it may get turned over. Bit of flipping over there and clearance is made. Touch forward for a mark. Not quite taken. Chance to run here. Inside ball. Playing forward. Jumped over. Kieran Briggs. What can he do? The big man gives a sharp kick from the inside. Bevan lurking around. Students, so much pressure. So dangerous. Reinhardt's going to have to make a hurried kick away. And it should land comfortably into the laps of Dawson Simpson. So
big Dawson Simpson all square here at Henson. Happy to slow things down. The play's certainly been the way of the Giants in this quarter as big Dawson Simpson kick is marked by Flynn. Must have been millimetres in that because he was right on the boundary line. And big Flynn, who's kicked 2 goals tonight as captain, he's lining up for number 3 to give the Giants a 1-goal advantage.
One big man to the other there.
So Flynn comes in around the body. How does it bend?
Not quite enough.
But they've hit the front.
That's right. It's an important behind. Like plenty of time left in this one. Don't have to tell you that if you're watching from home. Kick down the corridor is very ineffective. Buntine, an uncharacteristic drop there. Put forward there by Squire there underneath. Who can be taking it? Awkward clearance made. Long sleeves getting involved. Oh, is that going to be? No, he's said not enough time. And play on they go. So Carroll will just slap it forward onto the right boot. And a chance here to respond here. Brown turns, lurks, using his speed and agility, trying to get out of trouble. So many drop balls at the moment. Must be slippery out there because some very safe pairs of hands are putting down some pretty straightforward catches. Buntine and Brown.
Not to mention the tackling pressure from both sides been really good out there. Made it really hard to get a clean possession because you're not going to get cleaned straight up.
Game in the balance, getting hot in the kitchen.
So tossed in. Give the points to Tagliabue on that occasion. Charging through. Just extracting somehow. The Students try to press forward. Veal held without it. Umpire called play on. Rushed kick to the wing. Good tackling pressure from Connor Iden. Handball came backwards. Students through midfield. Bit of a chipper. Interesting one to Flipper Stern. Couldn't quite find the handle on it. He did well though. Sliding, ducking, weaving into Bailey Stewart. And it will be tossed up right in the middle of Henson Park. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one on NEAFL TV. Wherever you're watching, let us know, who do you think is going to win this game? We're in for a thrilling finish. 1 point lead at the moment, the way of the Giants. As Flynn got a kick out towards the wing. Picked up there, snapped around the body, turned over. Louis Stevenson, he's a booming kick. Elects just to lower the eyes this time to Sierakowski. That's Will, the most experienced Sydney Uni player out there. Handball went out wide. It's a good one to Veal. Inside 50, Sierakowski again using all of that experience. And he will go back for a chance to put the students in front.
Did well to follow up his own work there, Sierakowski. He's got himself into a goal-scoring position. Not the easiest goal-scoring position, but certainly one they could try and create some pressure on, at least a leveller.
So playing his 89th game in the NEAFL for the students, Will Sierakowski, the 5th most in the history of the club at this level. His kick's on the way and just misses the lot in the end, so the Giants still lead by a point. Just missed out on a crucial score.
Crucial 1 pointer there. The Giants been pretty good down back tonight. So used to saying today, but it is tonight. It's Friday night football. Nearly an absolute cracker mark taken from the back there. Instead, it's just another good old-fashioned scramble as we've seen all day. May Flynn just tapping things forward. Bonner trying to extract the football. Overrunning it. So slippery and just so many players. Both teams so desperate right now to get something going, but at the same time so desperate to avoid conceding at this point.
Yeah, you're right, Will. It's so tight out there at the moment. Both sides playing defensively as Bartholomeus lays a big tackle. And it will be tossed up. Or in, rather. So the Sydney Uni runner just goes out onto the ground and just tells a few players to drop back. Don't get too crowded into this ball. Try and create some space. Get a bit of run going. Goulden's lurking out the back of this one unopposed. Ball comes up, comes back down. Kick out of the pack was good from Harry Grant. Could bring rain later this weekend. As Valor goes inside 50 again. Iden, good use of the body. Buntine there too. Goulden bashing, crashing. Davies around the body. Vacant goal square. How will it bounce? And it will crash into the behind post, so it will be thrown in again. They can't quite level the scores, the students.
One of the most difficult points to grab at the moment. The Giants not interested at all in conceding at this point. They've worked so hard all day down back and been so organised. And in they go. So Shipley's been lurking underneath, but instead it's going to be played out onto the soccer. Mark can be taken by Flynn's. Just worked out absolutely perfectly for him. So he sees Big Dorse going forward. Can we get another big man connection here from the Giants? And he does opt for it. Here's Big Dorse with Goulden there. Just swats him aside. Is that Bevan? Yes, it is. Inside ball played forward. Under that was Lloyd, and it's now been turned over. Left foot. Will it be play over the top? Kieran Briggs is there, and he's certainly got the high advantage. Stern did well. Stern's going to have to do well again. Instead, coming in to support. There's a proper headlock there from Kieran Briggs. Wouldn't call the tackle. On to Michael Carroll there.
Carroll's happy to just brush it off and go back down to defence.
I mean, the bear trap he did there, Kieran Briggs. So Tagliabue does really well there. Vella pushes it forward. And that'll be a mark. Is it going to be play 50? No, they're calling that, whether it's touched or not 15. Bonner underneath it. And it'll be taken over touch by Ed Cole. Really frantic stuff. That mark not paid there, Ed, and I may have missed it. Was it touched? Was it deemed not 15?
Maybe not the 15, just looking at the rugby league 10-metre lines that are drawn on the centre of the paddock would be my guess that the umpire's gone, no, that's only 14 and a half.
Very precise measurements out there.
As it's tossed in again, Tagliabue, big win down. Veal was there, kicked a good goal in that third quarter to level things up. Reinhard round the body to the hot spot. Who wants a big fly? No one could mark on this occasion, but they'll just urge it inside 50. Will the students? Bit of a bubbler, hard to grasp in these wet conditions. Not really wet, dewy conditions.
Dry, cold conditions. There has begun dropping in temperature. Seen a few beanies starting to pop onto the crowd, which has steadily been building. Had the odds kicks on at half time. But now we're tuned into the action here. Ball spilled out to the ground. So just so difficult as it has been all night to get this one out.
It's a weird quarter, this one. Every other quarter, the Giants have dominated possession, had it in their half for the first half of each quarter. This quarter, it's been at the Students' end, but they haven't been able to hit the scoreboard as the Giants cleared offensively. High kick to half forward. Really good use of the body there from Josh Green. What can the 16-year-old do? Put it inside 50. Really good up and under kick. Really good stuff there from Josh Green. Sended it to Kieran Briggs. So Kieran Briggs, check-out chick from Pennant Hills. Got drafted last year. Love watching him play. Capable of taking big hangers. Really good at ground level for a big man. And he's a good goal kicker too. Kicked 12 goals, 5 in the NEAFL this season from 50. Drop punt on the way is going to miss.
Really built up some speed in his run up there. So it must have felt like he had to put everything into that kick. Big Briggsy. Usually great for a few goals each match, and that one doesn't quite get through, but sure he'll get another chance later in the day. Might be the defining chance. Great clearance made by Kane Flack over the far side. It's nearly a 2-on-1 there, but great work from Stevenson, who's played forward. Chance for Harry Morrison to go and unleash his runners here. And that's so he does. Bursting through the middle. Charging through are the Students on the far side. A little bit of run given by Goulden. Can he step it inside? Tommy Banuelos cannot take the mark. And instead, still charging under that was Connor Ryden, quelling this attacking Students. Threatening stuff there from the Students, and still played inbound. Little chance to go again. Inside, puts it into the 50.
Oh, ripper.
Absolute cracker to Tristan Davies. Tight angle, but found him an acres of space.
He's a dangerous one, Bailey Stewart there. He's such a good user of the footy. Found himself in a bit of space at half forward and was able to just scan the inside 50 and saw the most dangerous man inside 50 for the Students and one of the most dangerous men in the competition, Tristan Davies.
Really good bit of crumbing to get the ball to Bailey Stewart as well. As we wait for this kick to put them in front and hit the scoreboard for the first time this quarter. It's on its way. As we wait for the celebration, and he does not celebrate, it'll be a behind. Tristan Davies, they now trail by 1. Really frantic stuff. So it's a low-scoring game, but it's a very exciting game, and looking quite likely to come down to the wire at this point.
So the Giants deep in defence, just running it out. Half forward. Briggs will fly. Got a first crack to it. Buckley stole it off him, then got a kick high to the wing. 2-on-2 situation. Good use of the body. Thought there may have been a free in that. Umpire said no. Searching handball, looked for Bobby Hill. Couldn't find him. Picked up by Reinhard. Back through midfield. Chance here for the Students to hurt them on the rebound. String of handballs came out wide. They'll look forward. Look for Davies out wide. Leads that way now. Good work by the Giants defence. And they'll just look to chip things up the wing. And it's going to be touched as it goes out of play in front of Josh Green.
Really good sliding effort there. We like to see that. Once again, that Giants defensive structure, they were just there. They were just ready to stop things as they look dangerous. But they are not backing down, these Students. Their home turf here at Henson Park. And they got another chance here. Couldn't be slapped forward, and it's Vella in the headgear, so noticeable, nearly splits the difference between the two players. Foster gets crunched in the long sleeves. There he is again. Bailey Stewart getting involved just when they need him in this final call. Robertson inside ball. Banuelos onto the ground. Can he pick it up? Instead, it's Vella. It'll be taken out of the bounds into touch. Another ruck battle. But they're getting really involved, the Students. There's a few key midfielders starting to step up and really trying to corral their team forward just when it matters. 13 minutes past.
So the Students have just managed the one behind this quarter. Giants have kicked 2 behinds. Valla out of the pack, around the body, the second gamer, he's got it, and the Students are in front. Luke Valla just lurking from that stoppage. Right place and right time. The former Giants Academy player from Camden, Luke Valla, in his second NEAFL game, kicks his first goal.
He's known for his toughness around. You've seen so many times, he's not a massive guy, but he's been carrying defenders, managing to get disposals off when other players would probably lose it in holding the football, and just when they need him, he's popped up with a goal.
16 touches tonight, 8 tackles as well, worked really hard around the ground and as we saw there, first goal for him at this level. And a 5-point lead, all important in a low-scoring affair.
Could be one of the real defining moments of this match as we look on and wait for play to begin once again. People playing through the middle. Sierakowski getting a bit of a move on here. Who's he backing to take it down? It'll be the Giants. Under that, oh, geez, wonderful clearance. Mate, how good was that from Squire? Played forward. Shoved arguably in the back, but they're going to keep on running with this one. Students under that. Kilpatrick has brought into his chest, but swarmed by the Giants once again. Forward pressure, trying to match their defensive pressure. 95
tackles to 82 the way off the Giants tonight as Tagliabue wins that down. The Students' defence, geez, they've suddenly got a burst of energy now. They've hit the front. It's deep in the Giants' attack, though. Can they muster a goal and get the lead back? Could have been holding the footy. Umpire called play on. Handball came the back way of the Hill. Hill laid a tackle on Bartholomeus. Didn't have the footy. Snapping kick out wide.
Briggsy.
And Briggsy, all the Giants players said, no, that was definitely touched off the boot. Where was that call last night? A few of the Giants officials behind us are thinking.
Oh, touchy subject. Day after, Ed. Best not to be mentioned.
So boundary throw in. Giants in attack. 5-point lead the way of the Students. Halfway through this last quarter. Bailey Stewart, kick out, risky kick. And good, strong mark taken there by Callum Brown.
Man from County Derry, Ireland. Seeing his 12-month trial and Aussie rules football. If he can kick this goal, it'll be a pretty good little trial run for him.
So he's kicked 3 goals, 4 for the season, predominantly playing off a half-back flank for the Giants in his season to date. Runs in now, drop punt on the way. Doesn't have the accuracy, so we're down to a 4-point ball game.
Just closing that, just creating that, slowly building towards a tighter and tighter finish as things progress here.
Just that tension that we like. It's a really enjoyable game as the kick comes in. Students looking to go quickly.
Andrew Sierakowski trying to get involved. Both Sierakowskis have been involved tonight. Played in. Mark couldn't be taken, but a fast ground ball could. Good little show and go before a clearance is put forward, but it can only go as far as Ned Reinhardt. He's going to go laterally and see if they can get something going on the other side. Michael Carroll decides to go in, no. Briggs, Kieran Briggs, it's bending, it's through. Taking the lead, the checkout chick from Pant Hills, Kieran Briggs. Giants reclaiming their lead. They're up by 2 points. 49 plays the Students 47. What a wonderful response. Not what you want to see as a defensive coach there. Thought they were going for the full switch. Decides to go inbound and finds a big lurking Kieran Briggs.
Always risky when you're going a short kick in defensive 50, isn't it? You want to make sure you've got a clean channel to that player that you're kicking to. There's no one standing in the way. There's no one on the wing that's going to come in and intercept. And unfortunately for the Students, that's exactly what happened. Big Kieran Briggs was waiting. Right spot, right time.
Just gobbled that one up, the big man. Cool little finish from Briggsy too. Hang on to it, nice little bender.
I was saying before, he's so good at ground level and in the air too, as Vala's handball was smothered. Giants a chance to go forward again. Aidan Bonner inside 50. Goes over Briggs' head. Flynn will get it. Couldn't quite mark. Still at the top of the goal square. Chance for the Giants. Working hard. High tackle. Free kick will go the way of Sydney Uni. So just stopping and propping. As Darcy Cordell goes long to the flank. Big pack of players. Sierakowski from behind. Snapping around the body. Harry Grant inside 50. Just about cleans up the trainer out there instead.
We saw the Angie burst, the previous goal from Sydney Uni, and then we've just seen the Giants score, and look at the burst.
Just a bit more excitement. You go, oh, we might have a win here tonight.
Maybe it's not that hard to score goals.
So the Students bring it in. Big, high pack of kick to a pack of players. Bartholomeus, his kick ricocheted off a teammate's shin and it's on the full. The Giants players very aware. The Students players going, oh, really?
Not the call you want against you, and there's just nothing you can do about it at that point. It's a bit of a harsh rule. They've got to be concrete. Flying towards the top, Kieran Briggs couldn't quite get there. He's really keen to get onto the score sheet once again. It's going to be played forward here and a chance to get out. And getting out they do. Left foot clearance played, but it's really just going to bobble out on the full. Can't possibly call that deliberate. Or can he? Well, it was out on the full.
Out on the full. The Students, they had quite a few players around that stoppage, Will, and perhaps a bit more time than what they realised. Still plenty of minutes to go in this game as the kick comes in. Hanging out the back. Here's a chance for the Giants.
Is that Bobby?
It was Bobby.
Didn't quite get the bounce.
He certainly had the run. Just watch him set up at the front of this stoppage. Tell you what, if I was playing on him, I'd want to be super tight. Just about attached to his shoulder strapman as the footy comes in. Cam Williams won that down. Bobby was lurking. Bonner was there too around the body. And he misses.
They're looking really dangerous right now, the Giants. They've got their tail up. They've got a sniff for the goals.
3-point ball game. You'd say the draw's out of the equation.
Wouldn't back him in for the draw, so ever so important kick out. It's a really, really big one, almost towards halfway. Everyone's just trying to kill the ball there. Vella, wasn't he fantastic before? Bit of a foot race. Foster in the long sleeves, not going to win out there. Callum Brown is just so quick, but he's lost his footing. And what can they do here? Morrison and Foster hunting as a pack. Coming, they're screaming. It's paid. They were screaming for it.
Isaac coming there. He didn't have much more he could do, did he?
Not a lot to do at all.
And 50.
And 50 for language. And if you're looking on as a coach, you would be horrified. You've gifted them the lead back. And if things don't go their way tonight, you look back at these moments. So the easiest, most straightforward of goals for Harry Morrison. I think he's had 2 from 50s today. He turns around and says, how easy was that? Defensive pressure. They did well to earn that. They saw their defensive men would be under pressure. They swarmed him, absolutely hounded him, and just forced him into a silly mistake. But Cumming will be disappointed with himself.
You're right, he has kicked 2 from that situation. But once again, right in the middle there, the second game of Luke Valerie put them up earlier in this quarter. Just the awareness to get the footy and not run, because he doesn't have the legs. He's a smaller fella, not as quick. So just kick it as long as he can. Foot race. Hopefully one of them will create a stoppage, and they got a bit of luck with a free kick, and suddenly they're back in front by 3 points, and suddenly the Students are the favourites. What a thriller we've got here at Henson.
Absolute seesawing affair out here, and really well done from Vella as this one's gone up once again. Tagliabue's popped up. There's Vella again, right on cue. And he's a tough man, but he's not that tough. He's not going to get out of the way of some of those bodies in the middle there. And Bonner around.
Thrown back up in the middle, came out the way of Bartholomeus, around the body, inside 50. They need a mark, big pack of players. It will come to ground level. Where are the Crummers? The Students players are quite happy just to lock that one up and create a stoppage, set something up.
Very clean slice of bread, no crumbs.
So throw it up. Students lead. Shipley, kick out of a pack. Veal leads the foot race to it. He'll go back and pick it up, the South Australian, then put it to the hot spot. High kick. Who wants to mark it? Flynn parked himself under it. Beautiful mark from the skipper. He'll just slow things down. Have a look forward. Eventually out wide. Long kick. Really good use of the body from Mumford. That's not right. That is Dawson Simpson. Big long pack of players, and the mark's taken by the Students.
So Morrison goes in, ball to Veal. Mumford's certainly not on the field, but that's okay. We've all made mistakes. So Veal goes laterally again. They're going for the slower option here, which, let's face it, hasn't been their strength today. Their strength has been their speed and their going when things are a little bit more frantic. So they decide to go a bit of a chaos ball. Can imagine we'll see this go out of bounds, and it does.
They don't even need another big man out there, the Giants.
No,
just getting excited.
That's right. Mumford would just be unnecessary at this point. We've seen Flynn and Dawson Simpson link up a few times.
Probably wouldn't get a game tonight in the NEAFL.
No, well, the two big men have been absolutely prolific in the ruck, but yet they still find themselves down by 3 points as things are charged forward. Looked like Squire, who got a bit cleaned up there, and a great clearance made from Bailey Stewart. Good little one-on-one tussle there from Flipper Stern getting involved. Vella, Stern, here he is, the big feet, not causing him troubles, but the kick was not ideal. There's Squire, plays it out wide to Bevan. Bevan goes by his right foot, forward, could it be brilliant? Nearly was, but still plenty of pressure. Reinhard having to chase his way out of here, and look at the big lurking presence of Dawson Simpson. You'd be absolutely petrified hearing his footsteps behind you as you try and scramble for the ball.
Goulden, cool as a cucumber in front. So late in this last quarter, Students lead by 3 points. Giants in attack, thrown in. Tagliabue and Flynn kind of got trapped in between the two, then fell into the arms of Bailey Stewart. The umpire says, let's give it to me. What an exciting last quarter this one's been. Giants still in attack. Bash now inside their forward 50, or not quite. Tagliabue over the top of it. Valla trying to extract. Shipley lurking out the back. Dish to handball off. Flynn's kick was smothered. Bonner went chasing it, but won't get there before the boundary line.
Seen plenty of smothers and kicks in the bodies today, and it's just a real testimony to how congested it is out there. Really hard to get things going. As we look at the clock, it's just ticked over the 25-minute mark.
Nice quarter's gone that 33 kind of minute mark, so perhaps still 5-6 minutes to go.
That's right, but plenty of stoppages if the rest of the match has anything to go like. Tap down. Flynn did really well there to play it forward, and so desperate to get it out here, the Giants, but equally desperate and up for the task of the Students' defenders. The unstoppable force, meaning the immovable object. Which way is which? We'll leave our viewers to decide. Put your comment in of who you think's been the best, who you think will win, what's been good, what's been bad. Seen plenty of excellent things and some slower things. There's Bartholomeus, who puts a pretty hurried kick in towards the pack and wheeling around there and nearly getting his head, he's sliding himself into the concrete there. He'll be okay.
So Sydney Uni haven't beaten the Giants since round 2, 2017. So we wait for the footy to be tossed in on the wing. The Students lead this one by 3 points. Tagliabue tapping it down at ground level. Could have been a bit of a slide rule. Umpire says no, we'll toss it in on the wing.
I like that from the umpire. I think he got his hands onto the ball, spun away from it. Can't blame the man for trying to win the contest.
Wasn't in danger either, so did well.
Any no good out of that is just a bit of an accident. So it's up high. Such a critical part of the match here. Next score is really going to set the tone for the final run home. And as we said, it's been such a seesawing affair out there. Such an arm wrestle in the middle. People fighting for the best spot on the ground.
You'd have to suggest next goal wins at this stage. 3 point lead to the Students. Goals hard to come by. Only had 14 on the night as the kick comes inboard. Stern was the target, couldn't mark for Sydney Uni. Giants with numbers. Diving in there was Foster. Nearly had his head ripped off. Students somehow get a kick forward. Buntine underneath it. Couldn't quite mark on this occasion. Davies crashed his body in. And the ball's locked in to Davies' abdomen, and it will be tossed up.
He did really well to close down the gap there. That probably should have been a Giants mark, but 100% effort there was made to stop any form of clean ball being made. They want this as scrappy as possible, the Students. Speaking of scrappy, fighting his way through was Nick Foster on the defensive pressure. But it's the Giants onto the assault here. Shipley's lurking and looming, but Reinhardt will see it go into touch as the minutes continue to trickle down here at Henson Park. It's a 3-point ball game, and we've been stuck in the middle of the ground for quite some time. You're just looking for that one outburst from either side. Really close this match, ice it out. And these continually cooling conditions. Knocked down. Flynn. Bevan did really well to fish that one out and straight in the hands of Flynn. Puts it forward. Briggs underneath it. Won't be gathered. A little bit of work here for Robertson and Goulden to do. Goulden's just going to slap and bobble it around. Just happy to see it out of the game. Once again, we're just locked down here. Not
perhaps like to see the Giants just throw a player or two back to the goal square, clear the congestion. They've got to create something to win the game. Just try and draw a few Students players away from this stoppage as it's tossed in. Flynn got it out the back of the pack. It's in the corridor. Really dangerous spot. Stern came charging through. Flipper couldn't quite get a kick. Isaac Cumming was there off the ground. It's at half forward now. Davies there. Can he get boot to ball? No. Buntine came back. Did a bit of mopping up for the Giants. Could have been holding the footy. Umpire called play on. Bonner picked it up. Got a handball. Play still goes on. Half forward. The Students got a kick to half forward. High up and under. Davies back with the flight. Couldn't mark. As a handball came out the way of Buntine. So Buntine to the wing. Good kick. Going back with the flight. Reinhard strong for the students. Ball somehow remains in. Veal's long kick. Inside 50's a good one. 2-on-1. Buntine, clean bowl. Took his middle peg as the footy came out into the hands of Ed Cole. Inside 50. Foster the target. He'll have to go off hands for the Foz as the Giants keep it in, and Stern did a good job just to corral him out. Deep in attack, the students. They lead this one by 3 points late in the last quarter.
Thought they were going to be appealing there for another deliberately taken out of bounds. Foster once again the chaser. And who can bob up here? Who can be the attacking hero, or who can be the defensive hero to get a bit of a rebound? Tapped down one by the Giants, corralling towards the boundary. We're going to have to wait for that one again and hit the reset button because the energy's high, the emotions are rolling. Crowd continually getting involved. We're about to tick over in 2 seconds on the 30-minute mark, and there it goes. So you sense if other quarters are anything to go by, we've got 3, maybe 4 minutes left. And attacking 50 for the students. Wrestle's gone down. Both go for the punch and miss like a drunken boxer. Vella trying to throw himself involved. Throwing himself onto the body there was Flynn. They just want to shut this ball down. So afraid of this to move. Big Door Simpson. Biggest frame out in the paddock. Can I get one more movement in here? Pushed forward, bit of a tap down. Where's it going to bounce out? They've done well, Lloyd, to give it off to Bonner. And a bit of a chance here, but who can take it cleanly? Briggsy tries to get involved. Kieran Briggs turns. A long chance of a clearance. It's a 2-on-1 here. You wouldn't want to spoil each other. It's gone out the back. Now it's a 2-on-1. Here's Bobby Hill. He'll put on the dribbler. It's going to bend. It bends through. Absolutely wonderful from Bobby Hill, the showman. As he slots that one through, it could have hit the post. We were all a little bit nervous about that. But he's made absolute perfection out of that dribbling kick. Put his own little touch of class onto the finale there.
He had a vacant goal square, 30 metres in front of himself. Could have just waltzed into the easiest of goals. Not our Bobby. Ran to the pocket, bent it around, dribbled it around the goalpost, and it somehow didn't touch the padding on the way through. The Giants now lead by 3.
Why make it easy, Bobby Hill, when you've got skills like that? The showman.
So we've seen a couple of quick replies today. Can the students get one here? Saw the Giants go coast to coast then. Ball back in the middle. Kick came out wide. It'll bounce just through the hands there of Grant. Had to be clean. Here's a chance for Sydney Uni on the wing. It will go inside 50. They need a mark. Big pack of players defensively. Ball at ground level. Carroll there. Around the body. Williams went back around the body. Bending ball. Morrison misses. Oh, he's thrown the mouth guard and the siren has sounded and the Giants hold on in an absolute thriller at Henson Park. Harry Morrison a chance to win the game on the siren, and he missed to the right.
And only just. And only just. And that's been this game. It was always going down to the wire. From the absolute get-go, it's been an arm wrestle. And just like that, glory for one side, heartbreak for the other.
You can see what that meant for the Sydney Uni players. They slumped to their 7th loss of the season after leading for, you'd have to say, majority of that last quarter. And Harry Morrison around the body just couldn't quite get it to bend far enough. The point stands, so the siren must have sounded while the footy was in the air. And they lose by the second narrowest of margins in 2 points. Will Jackson, what a game.
We're here at Friday Night Lights, and it reminds you of that movie, Friday Night Lights, where they just get so close.
So close.
But they're so far. What an absolute scorcher of a game. We talked up Bobby Hill's showmanship. And
all day. He hadn't delivered all day, Will. He'd kicked 1 goal at 5, I think, to the last quarter.
He's making us look foolish, and at the end, boy, did he deliver.
2 goals, 5, Bobby Hill on the evening.
He was absolutely outstanding. It was a real cracker of a match. I mean, look, hard one in terms of congestion, not free-flowing, but if you want to see an absolute ripper of an end, the final 2 minutes, Amy, Tissot, whoever the sponsor is now, well, that one should make it. It was an absolute ripper. But shame for the students, wonderful for the Giants as they continue their strong run of form.
So the students now will just be geez, they'll be watching out for the rest of the round's action, because they were going into this game. Canberra is just behind them in the 6th. They play Aspley tomorrow, so that'll be an interesting game as round 13 continues here on NEAFL TV. Hopefully you've enjoyed Friday night footy here at Henson Park. I tell you what, it's a big tick for me in the fixturing next year. Let's bring them back. Let's have a few more of them here at Henson. It was a good crowd in, and they saw a cracking game of footy. Will Jackson, very good work this evening. Well done.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Always a pleasure here, and good on the two teams for putting on quite the show.
Leon behind the camera captured it perfectly once again, but it was the Giants winning an absolute thriller in the end. 7-14-56, 8-6-54 Sydney. The write-up will be on neafl.com.au later on this evening, and a 2-point win for the Giants here at Henson Park.